Hey everybody, welcome back! This is the ultimate bridezilla marathon megalodon compilation.
Am I the a-hole for asking my brother not to bring his boyfriend to my wedding? I'll allow it. Okay, this is the worst. I'm losing sleep over this. I'm getting married in a week to an awesome woman, and I cannot wait to be her husband. We are so excited. All right, Groomzilla. Okay. My brother is gay, but my family doesn't know. Only me and my parents know. I come from a very old school traditional family, so the old part of the family, grandparents and some aunts and uncles, still have last century's mind. And the younger portion, cousins, siblings, are open-minded and are living in the present. So my brother's been dating his boyfriend for 6 months now. Dude is great. I'm so happy for my brother. I'm happy he found a great guy. But it's kind of a secret, as he hasn't told my family he's gay. I've been telling him for years that he should come out because I know it stresses him out a lot. I think it will make him feel better not to hide anymore. Plus, I bet a few family members already know already. But he disagrees because he knows a part of the family won't accept it and it will be a lot of drama. I see the opposite. I see it as the sooner you know who the idiots are, the sooner we can cut them out from our lives.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
I have no interest in having someone in my life that doesn't accept my brother being gay. Anyways, that's his decision, not mine, so for now, he won't say anything. Until a few weeks ago, when he said he wants to bring his boyfriend to my wedding. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. So we went from 0 to 100 pretty fast. If it was any other occasion, I would be supportive, obviously, but I don't think my wedding day is the day to do that. Imagine all the drama and gossip and BS that would happen. And I don't want to get the attention away from my fiance. That's her day. It's your day too, baby. But I see what you're saying. And I don't want to have to worry about that on my wedding day. And I think that's a pretty good reason. I asked him why my wedding day. He said it's because he wants to celebrate love with the two people he loves most, me and his boyfriend. This is killing me. I would fight my whole family for my brother and never speak to them again if I had to, but my wedding day is supposed to be a celebration, not a family fight. And I cannot do this to my wife. That might ruin our future. I didn't even tell her. She's already stressed out. I don't want to make it even worse. With a heavy heart, I asked him to please come alone to the wedding, and I hope he understands me. He started crying and left my house without saying anything. Next day, I got a text and said, "Don't worry, going alone." Tried calling him, but he didn't answer me, and my parents don't seem to know what's happening because they didn't say anything. He eventually called me back a few days later. We spoke and he said he understands my side, but things are still weird between us. This is the worst situation of my life. Am I the a-hole for handling it the way I did? PS1, I want to thank the Redditor that sent me a private message and they said, okay, let's not do that, friends. I thought we were kind of past doing that, wishing death upon people we don't know on the internet. Don't do that. Update, spoke to fiance, couldn't keep this from her anymore. She agreed with me. Clarification, I know it won't be my brother that would cause trouble. The trouble would start with remarks and looks from some aunt/uncle. Doesn't matter, we are spending a lot of money on this wedding, planned it for a long time. My fiance put her heart and soul into planning this wedding. I don't want to see my bride or mom crying or some idiot uncle insulting my brother. Literally every other day of my life, I will support my brother's decision to come out, even at the wedding. I would obviously defend him, but the point is, not at the wedding. Also, my brother is not the a-hole, not at all. I want to know if it's possible to come out before the wedding. Like, how far away is that? It doesn't necessarily say. Maybe it says so in the comments. Is it possible for him to come out before the wedding? I don't know how close the dates are. Things could be a little bit raw, for a better choice of words. I don't know. It breaks my heart because I get why, but also I feel like there's a solution to this.
And modern problems require modern solutions.
Not the a-hole. God, I'm queer, and I gotta say, a sib's wedding would not be the place to trot out that bit of my life. It's your wedding, it's your day. Although I have to say, if your wife is level-headed, she wouldn't let a family fight ruin your relationship. Did you talk to her about this? This problem seems to have had a simple solution. Have him come out before the wedding. That's what I'm saying. But that's not the solution his brother chose. I do wish OP would have suggested that so we could see how he reacted. Like maybe it was an impulsive thing he hadn't fully thought about. I mean, I get some of it. I'm gay and my sister's wedding was the first time some of my extended family met my boyfriend, but that's more because I'd just never seen them and didn't expect any issues. I would love to talk to brother to figure out what his thought process was. I suspect there was some sort of element of, if I do it today, then maybe people won't freak out. I doubt it. I doubt that. It's really not the place to drop a bomb like that.
Bombs away.
Because let's not forget, it's not your day. Unless you've previously discussed it with the bride and groom, it's not the day to propose to someone, it's not the day to announce that you're gay. Anything that takes the attention away from the bride and groom is no. It's in poor taste. Let's just steer away from that. All right, so the wedding was a week away, but this was brought up several weeks ago with plenty of time to address it. I also wonder how long OP waited before saying something to his brother, like if he let the brother think it was fine for those several weeks to only backtrack later. Not that it changes my judgment of the situation, but it would explain why it got more awkward between them. But OP has suggested for years that his brother come out, so it probably didn't occur to him to change the language to before the wedding, because he had no reason to think that bro would suddenly come out now. I think brother wants to piggyback on the wedding to use it as a distraction tool. He comes to the wedding with his boyfriend, family shocked, but can't really react to the issue because of the wedding. Bless me. And bless you, my darling.
Bless you.
So impact for him is softened. He's relying on social politeness norms to sneak in a heavy topic. Trying to sneak in a sneeze here. Ugh. Anybody else has a really, ugly sneeze face? Just me? All right. What about you? My sneeze face is beautiful. Adieu. Well then. So as you can probably guess, Reddit has dubbed this person not the a-hole. You are not a groomzilla. I feel like you're being rather reasonable. It's a very awkward situation. Next, a-hole. Am I the a-hole for banning my parents from my wedding if they don't attend a tea ceremony? I'm 29 female, going to get married this September, if a certain unnamed virus lets us. For important context, I am white, but my fiance is Chinese American. I'm going to admit that I'm one of those girls who has been planning her dream wedding since I was a girl. My husband doesn't care as much and told me that I could plan the entire thing to my heart's content, with one stipulation. There's an important Chinese tea ceremony wherein the bride and groom make tea for both sets of parents, and then the parents give them gifts. It's incredibly important to him and the only thing he wants in our wedding. Okay, he also consulted on the food and he wants to marry me. Well, that's good. That's always a good sign when your fiance wants to marry you, I feel like. You know, I think that's kind of necessary. Just my opinion, though.
That's my opinion!
He's been planning that, which will happen shortly before the wedding, and will be a smaller ceremony with only family and very close friends. Today, while Zooming with my parents said they found the whole ritual absurd and stupid, and that she was going to skip it. It's kind of rude. All right. Considering they're an integral part of it, that doesn't work for me. They couldn't even explain why they thought the ritual was stupid, just that it was. I basically told them that if they skip the tea ceremony, they should skip the wedding as well. That led to a lot of crying and arguments, and now my parents aren't talking to me, and my sisters have sent me texts about how irrational I am being, how I'm being cruel, and how I'm being a bridezilla. Okay, someone telling you something that you don't want to hear does not make them a bridezilla. Let's not gaslight people, okay? This is important to my future husband, so it's important to me. Here. The only thing he really insisted upon for this wedding. But they are my parents and I want them to be at my wedding. Am I the a-hole? No! You're not. We live in a multicultural society, which means that when different cultures join together in matrimony, you have to respect both sides of the culture. Okay? That sounds fun. I would love that. Give me all the tea ceremonies. What's so wrong with that? I'm gonna go with not the a-hole. Your parents sound like a-holes, TBH. Sounds kind of racist. I'm just saying. Not the a-hole. I have a feeling the whole thing will be a lot more pleasant without their racist there. Edit, thank you for the awards as well as for the 100+ messages saying, that's not racist. It's a pleasure always, Reddit. I'm pretty sure that is racist. That's racist. Hold your ground. Good for you supporting your future husband on something that matters to him, not the a-hole. That's what I was thinking. The marriage is off to a good start, even if the in-laws are terrible. I mean, it is concerning that your parents don't want to support your future husband in this matter. I am concerned. Yeah, you gotta be racist to refuse something like that. It doesn't sound that outrageous. It actually sounds interesting as and I'd be very honored to be asked to participate in it. That's what I'm saying, man. Sounds great. Sounds super fun. I'd be stoked to be a part of it too. I love other cultures' traditions. It's so interesting and it makes me wish my family had traditions like that. It sounds extremely meaningful. Yeah, that and like Indian weddings. Y'all know how to party. All right, as you can probably guess, Reddit has dubbed this person not the a-hole. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Am I the a-hole for leaving my bachelorette party and telling my maid of honor to stop living vicariously through me? I, 27 female, got engaged to my fiance in December 2019, around the same time as my BFF Chelsea. We decided that we'd be each other's maid of honor. Chelsea and her ex split up shortly after the engagement because he cheated. My fiance and I started planning a laid-back fall wedding a couple months ago. I asked Chelsea if she was up to being maid of honor. She excitedly said yes. A few days later, she sent me a list of dates for a wedding shower at the place hers was originally scheduled at. I told her we weren't planning on a shower because a lot of our friends and family were hit hard by the pandemic. She was upset, but let it go. Something similar happened with the dress shopping. She had a list of places ready to go. I told her I wanted my friend, who's a seamstress, to make the dress. She's convinced me to go shopping anyway and ended up trying on a lot of the dresses herself. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, okay, okay, bestie, you can, yeah, okay, sure.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I was weary when she mentioned a bachelorette party, but she presented plans that seemed perfect. A hike, a nice dinner, and then drive-in movie with my dog. I agreed. She picked me up on Saturday, but instead of driving me to the park we were supposed to hike in, she took me to a lake house. My heart dropped because I knew she'd planned a house party. Lo and behold, I walked in and my bridesmaids were there, as well as the women who I suspect Chelsea would have picked as bridesmaids. There was also a lot of liquor. I don't drink. My mother is an alcoholic and I want to avoid the same fate. While I don't mind being around people who are drinking, it's uncomfortable and depending on the situation, triggering. When I walk in, half the people there were already drunk. Oh, hell no! I don't like this for you. To make matters worse, Chelsea neglected to tell me until 9 p.m. that she planned to stay the night. My fiance was out of town and I had no one to watch my dog. Chelsea said he'll probably be okay, it's only one night. No, Chelsea, no. Long story short, my future brother-in-law came and picked me up and took me home. I didn't tell Chelsea myself. She was trashed at that point and asked one of my bridesmaids too. Yesterday, I woke up to 20 plus texts and calls from Chelsea and a few others asking where I was and if I was okay. I texted Chelsea back, who told me she was headed to my place to talk. As soon as she walked through the door, she started berating me, telling me she put so much effort into that party and I was so ungrateful. She told me that she wished I were a normal bride. Admittedly, I thought she was coming to apologize and I lost my I told her I'd been walking on eggshells and compromising so I didn't hurt her feelings, but I wouldn't anymore. And that she needed to stop living vicariously through me and planning what she'd want for her own wedding. That's what's up. I don't want to hear nothing about it. She's right, okay? She called me and a bad friend and left. We haven't spoken since. So, am I the a-hole? Edits. Chelsea was aware of my relationship with my mother. We've been friends since we were children. I asked for a party with no alcohol specifically. Important. I didn't mean to trivialize what happened to Chelsea. It was traumatic and definitely left its mark. I mean, I will be honest, it is a bit of a low blow. That is probably what is going on here. And she wouldn't have deserved it if she didn't call you a I've been there for her through it. I was her shoulder to cry on, the person she called the best friend I could be. When I approached her about being maid of honor again, it had been over a year since they split up and she seemed to be in good mental place. She assured me she was ready and I believed her because I trusted her. And the other option would have been to essentially say I replaced her because I think she's too broken to do the job, which would have been hurtful as well. As I said, that's a low blow.
Not cool. Not cool!
I feel like this is a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm wondering if anything else could have been said, but at the same time, if she didn't come there to apologize and she didn't come there to, she came in there guns blazing. I don't know. When you have fights, people say things they don't mean. I do feel like you're right, though. But as always, what say you, great jury of Reddit? Not the a-hole. I can forgive the dress shopping. That's not that big of a deal and understandable. But the fact that she lied about the bachelorette party is not okay. She knew you didn't drink, yet made that the main focus. And then let you know she wasn't going to give you a ride home, which would harm your dog and inconvenience your brother-in-law. She's out of line. I would honestly demote her from maid of honor. She can't handle it after not getting her own wedding. She needs to take several steps back and stop sabotaging your special events. Sorry, I kicked you there. Didn't mean to kick you. You all right? The dress shopping ended up being an okay day, though my future mother-in-law was like, WTF is happening? I had reservations about having a bachelorette party in the first place and specifically told her no alcohol. That's what got me in the end. That being said, I don't believe she set out to sabotage anything. She absolutely did sabotage. She lied to you about the bachelorette plans and did the one thing you specifically didn't want to partake in. She didn't do this for you, but for herself. She needs to be removed from the wedding involvement, or she will find some way to shine a spotlight on herself at your wedding. That's an interesting take. So as you can probably assume, Reddit has dubbed this person not the a-hole. Court is adjourned.
Have you ever had like a really shitty friend where they would pretty much find just any opportunity to like diss you or make you feel like shit?
Yeah.
Like I had one. Anytime we would go out to eat, she'd be like, I will pay for you this time because I mean, trust me, I make a lot more money than you. It's really okay. Okay? Or about the time that I got engaged, she wanted to see my ring, so I held it up and she decided to put her ring next to my ring. And she was like, it's not 2 carats though, but it's really cute. It's like really cute. Except the kicker is that you found your ring on overstock.com, you bought it yourself, made your man propose to you because you're a witch of a woman. I actually got it proposed to organically, never even knew that he was looking for rings. Big difference. But the real kicker is that the girl that you hired to coordinate your wedding, she f***ed your husband. She used your shampoo. I'm friends with her, so are you.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Okay, all right. The tea is piping hot. Holy cannoli. Why are you just like not elaborating? Like, I definitely need to hear more. Did she like go through with the wedding? I love people who air their dirty laundry on TikTok. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing. And the fact that she just has like a glass of wine in her hand too. Oh, chef's kiss. If she offered to pay it like that, I'd order everything expensive. Get the Wagyu. Keep the husband, but don't touch my Olaplex. Yeah, that was the like most hurtful part for me is like, wow, she not only got busy with her husband, but also took her Olaplex.
That's the worst part.
Crossing all kinds of boundaries today.
Oh, you guys. So when Cruella de Vil was getting married, she only wanted her bridal party to be blondes, okay? So she asked me to be a bridesmaid, and then the rest of her bridal party were her sorority sisters from back in college. Now, she's not friends with a single person in that bridal party today. Common denominator, I think so. However, the best part is that, I actually had real friends. I don't have to buy my friends. But the best part, you guys, is that when she received her final wedding photos, the final edits, she texted me furious, so angry with me that I ruined her wedding photos because I am tiny, I am short, I'm only 4'10". She was like, I can't even use these. You're so fucking short. I can't even post these. And I was like, crop me out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm at the end. Crop me out.
Literally.
Anyways, her husband, I heard, has a huge D. They're divorced now, and he's piping down all my friends.
Ooh, wow. This tea is so hot, and it's cold in here, so I appreciate it. You're definitely keeping me warm with that story. Thank you so much.
Yeah! Look what I have created!
What did she expect you to do? You ruined my photos because you're small. How dare you? Like, she can't help the fact that she's short. And also, I highly doubt that you can't, like, Photoshop it so that she's just a little bit taller. The people that create the problems. How nice must it be to just be able to just create problems that didn't exist before you created them in your head? Some people do have real problems. They're not you.
You should have therapy.
Did she think you were gonna grow before the wedding? Literally, period. I'm sorry. She knew how short you were when you were asked to be in the wedding. So why is she like now surprised that you're looking short in pictures? I don't... That is like such an irrational thing to be angry about. Just chill out, bridezilla. Common denominator? I think so. Aggressively kicks. I think you're a little too happy about that, but period. Am I the a-hole for wanting a child-free wedding?
Without a doubt.
Let's give people the benefit of the doubt until the end, okay?
Swoosh. Judgy Wudgy was a beer. Bears are cuddly.
You mean like this?
I, 22 female, am getting married soon. Since my fiance are child-free and because we plan to have alcohol at our wedding, we decided to have a child-free wedding with the age cut off at 21. Okay. This requirement so far has gone over well with most of our invitees. Most of our invitees don't even have kids anyway, so it doesn't make a difference for them. I do have one friend, Mel, that I had to exclude from the wedding after realizing that pretty much everyone else from the same social circle had been invited except her. She confronted me and demanded to know why she wasn't invited. I tried to explain to her that it wasn't personal and I just didn't want to worry about underage drinking going on under my nose on my wedding day. Okay, she's 20? Okay, I forget that we're probably in the States and people aren't allowed to drink under the age of 20. Mel kept accusing me of being a bad friend. She argued that since we had drank together before, it shouldn't be such a big deal. I mean, she does have a point. Why is it suddenly a big deal at your wedding?
Hypocrite!
And also, like, if she drinks, it's not necessarily your problem. I told her that it was different since we were both underage at the time. I was 20, she was 18 to 19 when we started drinking together. Okay, so you're like literally 1 year older than her? Now, as an adult... Okay. I feel like I have a responsibility to prevent underage drinking. And as the bride, I feel like I have the right to have a child-free wedding. She's not a kid, though. She's literally not a child. I can understand if you don't want a kid, like a baby there, you know, people not being able to come because they have children, etc., etc. But like, she's literally your age. What?
It's a reasonable request.
Mel is unconvinced and keeps talking bad about me behind my back to our mutual friends and making snarky comments about me feeling superior. I mean, she does kind of have a point. You're not better than her because, you know, you're 1 or 2 years older than her. You're not more mature, clearly. I don't see why she can't just relax and let me have my wedding day the way I like. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? It kind of just sounds like you just really want to exclude this friend. She's not a child and neither are you, even though you're kind of acting like it right now, honey. It's kind of odd that you now have a problem with underage drinking, but then when you were underage, you didn't have a problem with it. Doesn't that kind of make you a hypocrite?
Yes, I am.
It is weird that you would consider someone that is a year younger than you a child. This is what I said. You're literally a year older than her, dude. Yet think that you are old enough to get married so close to being a child? Honestly. I mean, people can get married whatever age they want. If it's time, it's time. But like, you're not better than somebody because you're a year older. You're the a-hole. You wouldn't have to worry about underage drinking. The only person with that concern would be the barman. Honestly, like, why is that your problem? It's not. You should be off enjoying your wedding. Why does it worry you so much that there's underage drinking? You're the a-hole, and at this point, she should consider herself lucky to have some distance from you. The fact that she can say these things in front of others tells me they all agree, but won't say it to your face because you're being a bridezilla. Or her other friends are equally ridiculous. Oh my, we sophisticated 20 to 22-year-old women of the world couldn't possibly associate it with a 20-year-old child like you. It's so true. Just because you turned old enough to be able to have a drink does not mean that you're like this like sophisticated woman that has the right to look down on younger women. All right, girl, you're a bridezilla. You should apologize to your friend. Unless it's really not about, you know, the drinking and it's maybe about something else and that's just an excuse. In which case, to each their own. But don't make it about a child-free wedding when that child is a year younger than you. Moving on! Am I the a-hole for purposefully booking the same wedding venue as my sister, but earlier so I could get married there first? All right, you do have me intrigued at that title, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am leaning toward a-hole right now, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I can admit that my viewpoint is pretty one-sided, but my actions have divided my family, so I figured I could get some outside perspective. My sister and I don't get along. I can be honest and admit that she's much prettier than me, and that's something she's never let me forget. Both of my parents are pretty shallow, and they've always given her the best and put her first. If we both had a school event at the same time, they'd go to hers. This has left me pretty bitter and distant from my family. My boyfriend of 5 years recently proposed, and I was over the moon. And straight out of a bad rom-com script, my sister got engaged right afterward. It didn't faze me other than serve as a slight nuisance since my parents were happy and more involved with her engagement. My mom's been helping her plan but couldn't help me because my sister needed more help and she couldn't devote me time I deserved. Don't feel bad for me though because my mother-in-law is a godsend and super sweet and genuinely treats me with so much love. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Glad you have support, my dear. Anyways, what really pushed me over the edge was when my sister told me she booked her wedding at my dream venue.
What is your game here?
I know it sounds so annoying and cheesy, but I really cared about this location. It was sentimental to me. My grandparents got married there, and I've talked about wanting to get married there as far back as high school when I was just daydreaming. I swear to God, my sister doesn't give an F about my grandparents, but when I brought it up, my parents told me to stop being so petty. You are being a little petty. They're your grandparents and her grandparents. In a fit of actual pettiness, I ended up booking the same venue a month before my sister's wedding.
Boom. You looking for this?
I checked with the venue, and there's no way my sister can move the wedding up. They're booked up, and if she changes venues, she'll lose her deposit. My mom reached out to me and implored me to talk to my sister. I blocked her after the first call where she tried to ream me out. Apparently, my sister is really distraught. About what? About not getting married at your dream venue first? How is that distressful?
It is my birthright.
My mom said the least I could do was try and work something out with my sister, especially over such a huge event. I said no, but my mom said that I was the a-hole for not even trying to hear her out and for being stubborn and petty. I know my mom is biased, but it got me thinking because I've been pretty staunch about ignoring her calls and some of my cousins have told me she seems genuinely upset. I'm not sure whether or not I was right or if I'm being a giant a-hole by being so stubborn. I mean, there might be a little bit of petty jealousy going on there, not gonna lie, like for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, why do you have to be the one that folds? I do want to add that I'm wondering if I'm being the a-hole for ignoring my sister, not really for booking the venue. Yeah, I would say that maybe you're kind of being a little bit of a butthead. I think that you guys should talk, genuinely.
She started it!
My sister flat out told my cousin she couldn't care less about the venue and booked it because it was convenient. But suddenly when I want to get married there too, it means the world to her? I think not. My grandparents practically raised me since my parents were always missing out on my life events. So it was my grandma and grandpa who came to support me. I was always going to get married there one way or another. I think that you guys do need to chat. I'm not sure what good it will do because it sounds like there's definitely some sibling rivalry going on here. But then again, like if it was your dream venue and it means a lot to get married there, why does it matter when you're getting married there? To both her and to you. You're being a little petty, but that's okay.
I'm not.
All right, there's an update. I appreciate everyone who took the time to comment, both positive and negative. I spent my entire life being bullied by my family, and when I had comments from internet strangers rolling in trying to make excuses and defend my sister for trying to make my wedding planning all about her, I realized I would never win in the sense of doing the right thing. I talked it over with my fiance, and he basically said, "You're literally never happy when you talk about your family. Why do you keep putting yourself through that?" So I decided to try talking to them one last time before going no contact, just so I know I wouldn't have any regrets. Most of you could probably guess what happened. My sister said that if I got married at the same venue as her, I'd steal her thunder. And that I was selfish for making my own wedding all about me? I've countered with the fact that I've been talking about getting married here for over a decade, so why would she think I wouldn't get married there too? Only for my sisters to reply that the venue would be a waste on me because there's no way I could ever plan a wedding as beautiful as hers? Excuse me? Absolutely not. Seems like maybe you do have a right to be a little bit petty in this instance. The final straw was when my parents offered to pay for my entire wedding if I moved it. My parents, who couldn't be bothered to show up to my engagement party because my sister planned hers for the next day and they'd need time to help her prep, suddenly want to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to make my sister happy. I think that kind of broke me. Oh man, this sucks. Long story short, I told them that effective immediately I was done being their punching bag and that they were no longer welcome at my wedding or in my life. I mean, that's extreme, but kind of sounds like there's some trauma there that you need to work through. And if that means getting away from your family who seem to constantly hurt you and not put you first, maybe you got to do it. I tried to play the sympathy card on social media about how I divided the family, but my grandparents came to bat for me. They basically made their own post shading my mom, their daughter, saying that they were so thrilled to see their granddaughter who they raised get married at their venue, and my grandpa would be walking me down the aisle. That shut up most of my extended family. My cousin also let me know my sister gave her deposit in favor of changing the venue, which made me feel like it was proof that it was never about the venue. It was just about taking something that mattered to me. I wouldn't have cared if we married at the same place though. That's a good point. It's like, you can get married at the same place. It means something to both of you. It's your grandparents that got married there. Why do you have to like make someone else leave the venue that they've been talking about their whole lives just because you want to get married there? I'm gonna go with not the a-hole. This one's quite divided, I'm not gonna lie. You're the a-hole. I feel like there's a lot of missing info on the relationships here. I'm seeing your mom and sister wanting to talk to you and you rejecting that and being petty. So it makes me wonder about your claims of them being biased and she being the golden child. Jealousy can warp your perception. Those were her grandparents as well. She has every right to get married at the venue. You both can get married, but booking a month before her wedding is an a-hole move. It should be spaced out a bit more. Not the a-hole. Also, I was in my second month of no contact with my sister when she decided something was urgent and needed to talk to me about it. She complained to our whole family that I was being cagey by not talking to her about this thing that had nothing to do with her. I talked to a lot of people about this and our conclusion was that I had to respond, "Message received, I'll get back to you." That way you are no longer ignoring her. You're setting a boundary and allowing yourself time to process and decide how or if you want to get back to her.
I think I'll pass.
It is quite divided. There are a lot of people who are saying she's the a-hole. I was leaning toward you're being a butthead, you know, like you're not an a-hole, but just like a little bit of a butt. But then after I read the update, I'm like, it does kind of sound like you've dealt with this a lot throughout your whole life, and it's a little more than sibling rivalry at this point. Kind of sad, to be honest, but what can you do? Oh, by the way, Reddit has dubbed that person not the a-hole. All right, let's do one more. Oh, we definitely have time for this one. Oh, yeah. Am I the a-hole for forcing my stepdaughter to go to my wedding? Okay. I, 42 female, have a daughter, 6 years old, Kylie, with my fiance, William. He also has a daughter who's 16, Leah. Will is black and his ex is completely black. So while Kylie is mixed, Leah is fully black. Why is that relevant? Sorry, what? Leah dislikes me because she believes I ruined her parents' marriage. His ex cheated. We didn't do anything until they were separated. Our wedding is on the day of his ex's birthday. It also is the day that Will is supposed to have Leah. Leah wants to skip the wedding in favor of her mother's birthday vacation. I told her her mom's birthday comes every year and that our wedding will only happen once, and that one day she will regret missing her dad's happiest day. Ooh, that's a low blow. I'm sorry, but she's not gonna feel that way about some other woman who's marrying her dad. Like, she just won't. She's gonna genuinely feel like her mom and her dad's marriage was their happiest day. She threw me out of her room and told me that my wedding meant nothing to her and I was a white trash homewrecker. Her family's wealthy and I was struggling. Will bought me an apartment while they were still married, but nothing happened until after they were over. My fiance and I decided to force her to go to the wedding. Why? She doesn't want to be there. Just let her be. We got her a car for Christmas. We decided to change it from a Christmas gift to a birthday gift since her birthday is after the wedding. If she decides to go to the wedding, she will get the gift. If she doesn't, we will keep it for ourselves. Oh, wow. This is a carrot. I still have yet to, understand why you brought up her race. When we let her know, she called me a vindictive biatch and said she would rather walk barefoot every day than go to my wedding in some stupid car. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to your wedding either, honestly. I feel guilty, but Leia has been such a problem child since me and her father started dating. She's talented at cooking but refuses to help me cook the food. She accused my brother of doing something so vile that it makes me so sick to think about it. And she constantly leaves the house to go to her boyfriend's or back to her mother's house. Yeah, because maybe she just doesn't want to be there. Yet again, what does her race have anything to do with this? I find that odd that you brought that up first thing. Just let her go to her mother's birthday vacation. Like, she probably has a way better relationship with her mom. And the crappy thing about divorce is kids usually do pick a side. Even though they don't want to, they usually do pick a side. And if she doesn't want to go to your wedding, then maybe you need to seriously consider how you're going to work on that relationship. You're the a-hole for everything. He bought you an apartment while still with his wife and you're trying to play innocent. Just because you weren't sleeping together yet doesn't mean there wasn't emotional infidelity going on. Your hands are not clean, so stop pretending they are. I actually totally skimmed past that. It was when they were still together that she bought the apartment? Wow. Why buy her an apartment when you're still with your wife?
Well, to make a long story short, I'm basically a big loser.
She was also literally trying to bribe Leia to come to the wedding by giving her a car. If we give her an expensive gift, she'll be so obligated to come to our wedding. Why don't you try working on the relationship and having a frank conversation and treating her well? Don't just dangle a carrot in front of her. 16-year-olds are not fully emotionally developed, but I think that they are old enough to have emotions and to have emotions that are valid. You can't just, oh, here, take this car like a dog, just oh, you're gonna get a treat if you do what I want. Absolutely not. And good for her for saying no. Am I the a-hole for losing weight before my sister's wedding? I already know where this is going, but go on. Delicious. I, 28 female, used to be quite overweight. Over the last year or so, I have made changes in my life and have successfully lost around 100 pounds. Holy crap, in 1 year, that's amazing. I don't live close to any of my family and don't post on social media, so my family wasn't really aware of my weight loss. I did mention that I was making healthier choices, but that's it. It's just that every time before I've tried to lose weight, it hasn't worked out, so I didn't want anyone commenting on it. That's fair.
Amazing. Amazing.
My sister, 26 female, got engaged last year, and I'm super happy for her. Due to circumstances, the wedding has been pushed back. It's happening a week from now, and because I haven't seen anyone in so long, I decided to come down 2 weeks earlier to help out and catch up. Well, when I came to see my family, my sister freaked out upon seeing me. As it turns out, she has gained a bit of weight. Not super noticeable, to me she still looks great. But I think this is the first time in our lives that I'm smaller than her, and I've always been the fat sister. Bruh, I cannot even tell you how I don't even know how to talk right now. I can't even tell you how much I relate to this, but let's just keep going. She basically accused me of trying to upstage her, and my parents are fully taking her side. I'm not really sure if I'm in the wrong here, as so many of my family are taking her side of things. Am I the a-hole for losing weight before my sister's wedding? You know, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here and say you're not the a-hole. Isn't it just the worst when, like, you were, let's say, you know, the fat friend or the fat sister, you were maybe the awkward one in the friend group, and then the friend dynamic changes for some reason. Maybe you, you know, start liking yourself a little more, you lose a little bit of weight, you start getting the attention, and then all of a sudden those friends dislike it. Like, they just can't be happy for you.
Why'd you do it, Jim? Why? Why? To humiliate me? Orange. For what?
Bizarre, really. Is that friend really a friend? I don't know. I've definitely experienced something like this, and I'm telling you that you're not the a-hole for making healthy choices and improving your life. I'm pretty sure that if she had made healthier choices and, you know, remained her normal size, that she wouldn't be upset about you losing weight. I can't even say these things out loud. It's so messed up. I hope you guys work it out. Insecurity is a funny thing, isn't it? Wow, OP, you spent a whole year of your life losing weight and making sacrifices just to upstage your sister. How dedicated and petty of you. Sarcasm. How delusional is your family? Not the a-hole. Instead of being happy that her sister's making healthy changes, she made it about herself, totally self-centered. I could kind of understand the knee-jerk reaction if you made a grand entrance on the day itself. I disagree. But we're talking a full 2 weeks earlier in a completely different venue. Your sister is mad at herself for getting fatter and taking it out on you, not the a-hole. I had a friend show up to a gathering some years ago. He was always overweight while I was always physically fit. He showed up absolutely muscle bound and cut while I had gained weight due to poor life choices. I was extremely happy for him. I don't understand being awful to people you're supposed to care about because they have improved themselves. Probably because you're a decent person.
I'm a good noodle. I'm a good noodle.
And by the way, this is your reminder to subscribe. I know that you've watched like 8 of my videos. You know, like, it doesn't take you much time, doesn't cost you anything. You do have to look at my face a lot, but it's not that bad to look at, is it? How do I go about telling my fiance I don't want his son in our wedding? Or maybe I'll just purposefully have the date land on a week we don't have him. Am I wrong for this? His son is 5, but is blatantly rude to me due to his mom coaching him to say things, and ignores me when his mom drops him off and we all come to say hi. I live with my fiance and my twin. He loves my twin and seems to hate me, and it's getting to me. In the past, CPS was involved because mom was trying to coach him to say inappropriate things about me. I just don't want him at our wedding if he's gonna continue to disrespect me, and I can't get over what he's gone along with for his mom in the past. He's never been loyal to me because I'm not his mom, but I deserve respect. I've done nothing to him but try to love him, and I can't do it anymore. It's getting hard to fake the funk. He's 5 years old. He doesn't really know any better. I don't think that you should take out your anger on a 5-year-old. Because that 5-year-old is gonna grow up, and eventually he's gonna understand that maybe he was a little too harsh on you, but he's not gonna be able to forgive you if you don't invite him to his father's wedding. Again, he's 5.
Let me see what you have.
No! Here's an idea. Why don't you get his dad to have a little chat with him? Maybe you should have a little chat with him. Like, be frank. Just talk to him about it. Kids aren't animals. They can have conversations. That's just my 2 cents. Of course, I'm not dealing with it in the same way you are, but that's how I feel. You can quarantine at my place till you feel safe to go back. I'm so sorry. I just can't take the risk. COVID is really serious and people are still dying. People will continue to die. And oh no, don't catch the flu because you will also die. The death rate is dropping. I don't see how a mask will prevent you from spreading it if it can't keep you from getting it, if that's your logic. You wait till the last second to tell me that you can't make it and expect me to pat you on the back and to tell you that it's okay because you're scared. My entire family is scared. That's why we are taking precaution. But best friends like to walk away from each other on big days. Yep, see where you stand with me. Don't say you're my best friend and then not be willing to stand by me on my big day that you have been a part of the entire time. You are walking away from me. I gave you solutions to make it work, and you're not willing to come. I'm beyond hurt right now. You broke my heart. I'm so pissed off and upset. You don't even care enough to come to my friggin' wedding. It's a once in a lifetime event. I mean, realistically, I think we're at this point where, yeah, it sucks when people cancel because they're worried about restrictions and, you know, their health. But you can't, but you can't be mad at the person, you know? You just can't. It's one of these things that sucks, but you can't blame it on them.
This is your fault.
If it's really that important to you, maybe you should consider postponing the wedding or, you know, working out options for people to not attend, like a live stream or something. I know it sucks. It sucks for everybody, but I can understand wanting to stay home, especially, you know, in the thick of it, into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
I can understand that. Can I use this as a safe space? Because while this isn't strictly vegan, I need a little advice from my favorite hive mind. My stepson's getting married soon, and soon-to-be daughter-in-law came up to me today after finding out I intend to make my dress. She was not happy. Long story short, she's mega pissed, like raging pissed, because it's cheap, nasty, tacky, and how dare I do something like that on her big day. Personally, I think she's just jealous and doesn't want me to show up. Kidding, but jokes aside, I'm more than a little hurt. Don't exactly have the funds to go buying dresses all the time, and I love sewing. So I told my stepson I'll be wearing black instead because it's his funeral. Again, may or may not be joking. Should I buy or say balls to it and make one anyway? Honestly, I'm gonna have to see the dress. Are you not in the wedding party or anything? I need a little more context, but if you're not in the wedding party, I don't think she has a right to tell you what to wear unless it's a theme wedding. Right, Chair? Why do you only talk when I don't want you to talk? Shh, that's enough out of you. Shush, shush. I'm really not trying to catch heat for this, but I need opinions. My childhood best friend and I always talked about being in each other's weddings growing up. Our parents are friends and we've been friends since we were babies. I moved out of state a couple years back, but we're still close and text a lot. I'm choosing my bridesmaids and I really want to ask her to be my maid of honor. My dilemma, I haven't visually seen her in a while, but yesterday I saw a video of her. And sometime recently, she developed a large cavity in her front teeth. Am I shallow for worrying how pictures will look on the big day?
Let's see those pearly whites.
I'm a piranha. Then the Amazon.
I adore her, but I also don't want to look back on pictures and have that in there or have family judge. I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. My fiance is concerned. Is he? Do I ask her and just hope it isn't noticed? Do I not ask her and risk the friendship? You really think your whole wedding is gonna be ruined by just some tooth? It is true that if you don't have problems, you definitely create them.
Oh, this tooth. She just like, her tooth is just like really like black and stuff. And like, I'm just like, can I just like ask her to keep her mouth closed the whole time? What do you expect her to do? I don't get it. I don't get it. What a weird thing to be upset about.
This one tooth will ruin the aesthetic of my entire wedding. You ruined your own wedding, sweetheart. Our best man just admitted to cheating on our maid of honor. Question, do I start looking for a new maid of honor? Can't get a new best man, it's at his house. So let me get this straight. Your presumably best friend was just cheated on, and now you want to kick her out of your wedding at a time when she needs you. Yet you're not willing to maybe talk to the guy that cheated on her and just, I don't know how to solve that, but the fact that you want to kick her out and not him is kind of messed up, like a little bit. It's just, it's the only caring about the wedding for me and not caring about the maid of honor. That's what's upsetting. Does getting married just make everyone absolutely bonkers? Because I have heard that it does. I have heard that weddings are extremely stressful. Sometimes I definitely understand the stress that comes with a wedding. I can understand people giving a little bit of attitude, especially on the day. But like, are we forgetting how to like be human beings and to empathize with others just because we're getting married and things might be a little bit inconvenient for a while? Oh God.
We're all in this together.
Is anybody doing a live painting? Thoughts? Was going to until it started out to be $1,000. Let me know if you find anyone cheaper. Yeah, that's what I'm having an issue with. Prices are shocking me. Same, although they're beautiful, we've spent at least $27,000 so far. I just don't see $1,000 for a painting unless it's Picasso. That would cost a lot more than $1,000, I'm just saying. Right, lol, I mean, we're doing a photographer then a video. Surely I can get my paintbrushes out and paint a picture. So do it then. Just kidding, I need to take paint classes. I got in the wrong profession. The least expensive Picasso ever sold was $45 million. $1,000 for a live painting is absolutely nothing, given the work and years that have gone into mastering their talent. If you can't budget for that, then that's completely understandable, but can people please start treating artists like the actual people they are and value their work? You know, as someone who paints, you could be working on a painting for months, like literal months, maybe even a year if it's a big painting or something that's super, super important to you. And the fact that live painters get these stunning wedding paintings done, you know, within the small time frame that they do, the amount of pressure that goes into creating this perfect painting, and also the amount of skill that goes into that is worth a lot more than $1,000. How should I word a wedding invitation asking guests to pay for their own meal? I'm paying for everything else. That would be their gift to me. I'm a little on the fence about this one. If they don't have to get another gift, I don't see it as that bad. But again, I'm baffled at the idea that people want to have weddings and they're not budgeting for how much it's going to cost people to eat. I feel like that kind of comes with the territory, no? Why do people spend so much on these things, you know? I just don't know if it's worth it. Let's just all elope. Will you guys elope with me? Controversial topic, I know, but bear with me through this and hear me out. I don't want to see guests in masks in my video or pictures. I want to see smiling faces and not squinty eyes. How can I nicely inform guests that I want to see their faces? I would say don't have your wedding during a pandemic, and then you won't see masks.
That's right, I said it.
Or you could do something where you test people before the wedding to make sure that everyone is all gravy, and then they don't have to wear masks. That's what they're doing at big events in Ontario. I don't know about everywhere else, but I mean, we don't have to wear masks to big outdoor events as long as we're vaccinated or we have been tested. I feel like that's a solution for you. Maybe you don't want to pay for the test, but if that's not something you're willing to compromise on, then that's, there you go. That's all I can say. And lastly, just to wrap things up, everybody says they want a fairy tale wedding, but when I show up and curse their firstborn, suddenly I'm a jerk. Well, you are Maleficent, so one shouldn't expect anything else. Alrighty guys, don't forget it's time to clean your sinks. Put some bleach in there, make sure it's nice and tidy. Sinks are gross, okay? Don't want you dropping anything in there, putting it in your mouth, you'll die. Only thinking of you. A woman took to Facebook to share the tale of how her friend was asked to be a bridesmaid for possibly the craziest bride ever. The unnamed woman starts by explaining that Marie, the bride, and her friend Jess, the soon-to-be bridesmaid, but not yet, had been friends for a long time. Even when Marie moved to Japan, Jess remained in the US, and they stayed in touch. Marie announces she's getting married to a British guy she met in Japan. The wedding, to make it easier for everyone, will be in some exotic all-inclusive that is very expensive. Jess is not asked to be a bridesmaid, but all of a sudden she's Marie's best friend, and it would be inconceivable that she not come. Marie's a good manipulator and just felt compelled to scrimp and save to go. Turns out that most, if not all of Marie's friends won't shell out, and so she doesn't want empty rows. As she gets closer to the date, Marie insists that Jess fly in at least 1 week before the wedding to spend quality time. Marie run errands for her. Jess can't because a cheaper ticket had her coming in 2 days before the wedding. Marie becomes a bridezilla and the other girls in her party are getting fed up. Secret emails are flying back and forth like they're in resistance. Tickets bought, dress tailored the day before Jess leaves. I'm helping her pack when she gets a Skype from Marie. The wedding is off. Seems she's been contemplating this for a year and was in therapy. Didn't love him. Realization, this was for stability. Told no one. What?
I am tired of Earth.
Welcome back to another episode of That's So Fucked Up. So fucked up. Thank you for the unique gift. If you're not buying off my registry, please include a gift receipt. XOXO #honestbride. That's a little tacky. That's tacky. Is that real? I think it might be. Hi ladies, curious question. Are you guys feeding your vendors? If so, are you feeding them what you are feeding your guests? It's just my guest plates cost me $26 per person and I'm having a kid's food also. That's a lot cheaper with chicken tenders and fries. What should I do? I've already went overboard with my budget and can't afford anymore. Ooh, I don't know. Ooh. I mean, I love chicken tenders. Imagine being a vendor that like prepares the food and then to be told that they don't get to eat the food. I bet you anything there's gonna be food left over, dude. Come on. Come on. Crutches are ugly. So I was recently kicked out of my friend's of 15 plus years wedding because I fell and fractured my kneecap. The wedding's a month away and I may be off my crutches by then. I told her I just didn't know, but I can walk with assistance. I just can't bend my knee. I'm in a knee mobilizer, but the dress is so long it wouldn't be seen. Side note, I picked out the bridesmaids' dresses, so bridezilla or reasonable. You know you're a bridezilla when you worry more about what the wedding party looks like than who is actually at your wedding witnessing you on supposedly the happiest day of your life.
But my wedding photos. I don't want crutches in my wedding photos.
My maid of honor got a tattoo of a constellation, which is the theme of my wedding next year. We've been planning the wedding for months now. I found it insensitive. Am I overthinking this? I would say yes. I would say you're overthinking it. Imagine thinking that you own the sky. Sonzilla decides mom's engagement ring is now an heirloom that he's entitled to, and mom is selfish for not handing it over. My son Sam and his longtime girlfriend, now fiance Emily, finally decided to get married. Sam wanted my engagement ring to give to Emily. Sam said this would be a great way to keep him from starting his marriage in debt, from having to buy a new expensive diamond ring. I love my engagement ring. I have worn it every day since my husband proposed to me, and to be honest, I still have plenty of years to live, and I want to keep wearing it until I'm old and gray. As you should, sweetheart. Also, my ring is not a family heirloom. Oh, that's weird. Oh, the entitlement. I can feel it through the screen. So I told them that I appreciated them wanting my ring, but no, I want to keep it. However, when I am old, I would be more than happy to give it to their future children. That's your ring, baby. You keep it.
The audacity! I cannot even imagine!
Wouldn't that be nice though, eh? Mom, I really like your ring.
Cast it into the fire!
Can I have it?
You may not, sir.
An Indian couple is being investigated after they chartered a plane and performed a marriage ritual mid-air with about 160 guests. They had intended to marry at a hotel, but COVID restrictions capped their list at 50. That's kind of smart, no? Kind of smart and kind of fucked up. So fucked up. I mean, they're all gonna be sitting in rows anyway. We might as well perform the marriage ceremony. So weird. The lengths that people go. My boyfriend, 34 at the time, and I, 27 at the time, were invited to his high school friend's wedding. I had gotten to know Jane, and we even did some voiceover work together. So my boyfriend and I were told we were definitely invited to her wedding. While doing the voiceover work, Jane said, "OP, you're coming to my wedding, right?" I said, "Of course I'm coming." So the invitation arrived and was addressed to my boyfriend's name only. The invite said, Jake +1. The envelope only contained the information about the church, and there was no info on the reception, nor was there a checkbox on menu choices. On the day of the wedding, we arrived at the church. Upon entering the church, we noticed a gift tabled off to the side. After the lovely ceremony, we were talking with some of the other guests, and Jake said to one guy, "Where's the reception going to be?" The guy hesitated a bit, showed us a small card, and said, "Was this card included in your invite?" It was a different style card that didn't match the stationery of the invite. Jake said no. Then the guy explained that only those who received that card are invited to the reception because they needed to keep the guest list small due to budget. Jake and I left. We found out later it was a dry wedding, so we didn't miss out. Dry wedding, does that mean no alcohol?
No. Wait.
Who doesn't have alcohol at their wedding?
You're a monster.
I find it funny that this girl was like, "You're coming to my wedding," right? Trying to make sure everybody brings a gift, you know what I mean? But not invite everyone to the reception. Is that a thing? I didn't know it was a thing to like have a wedding and then a reception that like the majority of guests weren't invited to. I understand not wanting kids at the reception because that could get embarrassing for the adults. Yeah, I don't know. I've never experienced that.
Very interesting.
My thoughts go to the fact that you're now going to have a shaved head in my wedding photos forever. I know you don't give a poop because your hair, your choice, but I have a right to my opinion. OMG, so you only give a shit about how your photos will look. By the way, when it's split, you can't tell. Proceeds to send a photo flipping the bird. Lovely little bird flip there. I'm paying roughly $3,500 for my photos, videos, DJ, so yeah, I care about how you'll look in them. And I paid $1,500, it's not a price war. And I didn't dictate your stuff. I'll give myself a Liberty spike mohawk just for your day and you can kick me out of it then. I'm not waging a price war. My point is I'm paying a lot, so I'd hope for decent photos where everyone looks nice. I do look nice. You're being so judgmental. Nope, I'm being selfish about my wedding, but I'm gonna give myself a pass on that because it's one day and that's not about anyone else. Get Bridezilla, how I look has no effect on you. My hair, my business. If it's such a problem, I won't be in the photos because you're stuck up Barbie version of normal. Most people wouldn't shave half their head ahead of their sister's wedding. That's all. I did it for me, not you. For me, your wedding has no effect on what I do with my head, and it'll be dyed a color too. My point exactly. You could be a little more considerate than that for one day. It's muddy. I'm assuming that she did one of those things where she like shaved part of it here. You can cover that. You literally can't tell. Somehow I've done, 3,456 of these videos, but I can still be surprised. Isn't that fun? So my husband and I have got married recently, and we were expecting a bit more money from our guests than what we got. But we had been told by family members that there was a good amount of money coming to us for our honeymoon, implying that it would be pretty much paid for. However, we have got less than $1,000 and now wondering what to do with it. What did you guys do? Did you pay for the honeymoon yourselves? I'm sorry, am I just like totally missing something here? I didn't realize that anyone else paid for the honeymoon. We want to get away, but most of Europe is going to be too cold by the beginning of November. When we are wanting to go, please only nice suggestions. Have I just read what I think I have just read? Wrong on so many levels. $1,000 will get you a really nice week at an all-inclusive in Mexico. Really nice.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
What the f? Wedding tip. Brides, when picking your bridesmaids, don't pick anybody just because you know them. Pick people that genuinely love you and will sacrifice all of your wants for one day. If they can't comply with all of your reasonable wants for one day, they ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. You shouldn't have to argue about hairstyles and makeup and shoes for your date. Period. Period, queen. Yes. I'm being sarcastic.
No way.
Translation, pick people that you can manipulate into doing whatever you want. Because it's my day! Alrighty guys, that was Bridezilla video 7,556. Don't forget to take out recycling, guys. That time again. Gotta think of the planet, you know? Today we're gonna play a game, right Mike?
I like games.
We're playing a game called Am I a Bridezilla? Are you a groomzilla?
As of right now, maybe. I had a groomzilla morning this morning.
Yes.
I was a little rah.
It was a bit of a sassy morning in relation to our wedding. However, we're going to live vicariously through these stories.
Everything is totally fine.
Everything's fine. All right, so we're playing a game called Am I a Bridezilla? All of these stories are from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. So if you haven't subbed to that, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Am I the a-hole for making sure there weren't many photos of my oldest sister at my wedding because she's a self-centered
Ooh, grab your popcorn.
Popcorn, grab your tape. Hey everyone, I thought I would give some context before going into the Am I the a-hole situation.
Bring in the context.
Me, 28 female, my sister now 32, never saw eye to eye and never really got along as I'm not a very selfish person and I don't like being the center of attention. But she is the opposite. She's loud, she has to be the center of attention and everything has to be about her. And if you're not talking about her, helping her, or the day is mainly about her, she will not be interested.
It has to be about her all the time.
I know this sounds mean, but I blame my grandparents as she was the firstborn. They did a lot for her, bought her stuff, she had her own room at theirs. When she was 16, they bought a car and paid for her to travel the world when she was 18. Because she was spoiled by them, that's the reason she is the way she is now. It's sad because she never will change.
Change is scary.
When she was 18 plus, she would drink nearly every weekend, come back loud, waking everyone up, as 18-year-olds do. But she did this until she was 30 years old, and I sometimes think she's still a young teen as she doesn't act like a 32-year-old woman, and would have a giggity-goo.
And we're gaming.
Can't say that on YouTube. So loudly, keeping everyone awake, which is just disgusting to hear. I mean, I'm sorry, but I definitely don't want to be hearing my family members giggity goo.
I don't like anybody's giggity goo, but
nope.
Especially my family's giggity goo.
You don't like our giggity goo?
I don't know what giggity goo you're referring to.
Oh, shots fired. Okay, excuse me.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
Wait. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't like other people's giggity goo. Goo goo gaga.
Through the years, my other sisters started to dislike how she was, and we all started to tolerate her as we don't trust her and we can't see eye to eye with her personality, as me and my two older sisters are very similar and get along like besties. When it came to her 30th birthday, she decided to celebrate her birthday and have a party on my birthday.
Hey, it's my birthday!
Typical narcissist behavior.
You know, when you see like two little kids and the other little kid won't be happy celebrating their sibling's birthday unless they also have a cake.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like what that is.
My cake!
That being said, like, I also want a cake.
You can have a piece of their cake, but not your own cake. I was so upset and angry as I planned to have dinner with our family, but she sent invites out to all the family and her friends apart from me and now my husband because she knew I would say no. What a
Dude, honestly.
I was so shocked how everyone was fine with it and didn't say anything about it. Her birthday is a month before mine. What the actual frick was going through her mind? If I had my birthday party on her birthday, she would have gone crazy and probably most likely had a hissy fit like a little kid. I confronted her on it and all she said is that it's her birthday when it wasn't. She was already 30 and could have had a summer party but decided to have an autumn party. She said I could go, but I wasn't allowed to make it about me and I would need to buy a cake if I wanted people to sing happy birthday to me, which was like, hell no. Now you have a bit of context regarding how she is. It came to my and my husband's wedding, and during the planning, I didn't want my older sister part of our wedding. I asked my other two sisters to be my bridesmaids. I had to ask her as my dad and mom were saying that I was being mean and unreasonable. Funny how they get mad when she's excluded, but not you. I just didn't want my time/milestone to be taken away from me because of her. So I asked her eventually, but I didn't want to. I didn't have a maid of honor as my friend decided not to be friends with me anymore as I was close to another girl who was my colleague. But that's another story. Ooh, the tea. When discussing to the photographer about pictures, I said, please can we have less photos of her? And when it came to planning, who was walking down the aisle first as we were having the wedding at my dad's. And the patio, you could fit about 5-6 people in a line, but there was 7. So I knew it would be best for her to go down first. On the day, the videographer and photographer actually had to set up where she would stand so they can get shots of me and my husband walking down the aisle. She got pissed off with them and made a scene saying they had to move, which they ignored, and she had to stand behind them, which she complained to everyone at the wedding. If you bring me any problems on my wedding day, I will be very upset. I will then cause a problem. I will go full bridezilla.
She won't be Charmeleon.
No.
Bridezilla. She'll be Charizard. It's not your day. Like,
it's
go
not
away.
your day. Like, stop bringing the bride and
lay by the bay.
Yeah. When we were looking through the wedding photos with family, she made the first comment, which was, I'm not in any photos. Great. You can't see me. Me. Which made me snap and said, who cares? It wasn't your wedding. It wasn't your day. At the end of the day, did you enjoy yourself? Did you get to dress up and have fun? Why does it matter about photos? Why does it matter that you're not in the spotlight? You'll get your moment one day, just not then. Get used to it. Room went silent. My sister cried and walked off and called me a selfish, which my mom stuck by her, and my aunt said she was being dramatic, which is her life. Drama, and I also believe she's a narcissist from the behavior she shows. How she is with our mom, it worries me.
It always annoys me when parents defend this behavior.
I know,
They're like,
so annoying.
It's just the way that she is. No, Karen, she's a...
You know what's even more annoying is when, well, I'm not going to take sides. When there's a side that's clearly right.
Can you people not see me?
So, am I the a-hole for doing that? I feel like it's a bit mean, but this is years of rage building up, and this was my only way to control something she couldn't. When you say that there weren't any photos of her, were there actually no photos? Like, not even like family photos of her at all?
Because that would be kind of mean.
I understand where you're coming from, I do. But, you know, who knows? Maybe there'll be a time where you guys have a bit of a better relationship and you'll look back on wedding photos and be like, oh, she like wasn't in there. I highly doubt that there were no photos at all. Maybe she was just exaggerating. I don't know.
The birthday part to me is the weirdest part. You know, over time you may heal your relationship, and so you may regret not having her in photos, but her having a tantrum says that there's something off with her mentally.
Yeah. I am curious to know whether there was actually no photos of her or like not many photos of her, because like normally we do take photos with family at weddings, right? There's like honestly not really often times where there are lots of photos of me at weddings. It's kind of rare for me to see more than like a couple anyway.
We always dress up really nicely. And
yeah,
we never
take
get
your
any
own photos.
Well, we never get photos of each other.
We have so much fun that we rarely get photos of each other at weddings.
We have fun. Yeah, this one isn't as clear cut to me as possible. I mean, the relationship makes it a bit more complicated.
Just a little bit sassy. Let's read the comments though. Yeah, I'd straight up stop talking to her, like full no contact. She clearly doesn't care about you, so drop the rope. If mom and dad get upset, tell them they picked and drop that rope too. Edit, not the a-hole. This person says you're not a bridezilla. I also would find it interesting if your sister was at all worried about like the way that you looked in photos and like said nice things about like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. Or if literally the only thing she cared about was the fact that she wasn't in any photos.
That's the part that I'm kind of curious about. Like, did she say anything nice to you? Was she kind to you?
Yeah.
Did she get you a card?
We need more context.
Was she up there early doing makeup with you at like 5 a.m. at 6 a.m.? There's a lot of context. We need context.
Not the a-hole. One day your sister's gonna learn that everything is not about her and do something stupid that will probably get her in trouble with the wrong person. It's best she learns now instead of later, but it looks like your parents and grandparents are still gonna enable her behavior. If I were you, OP, I would consider going no contact or low contact with your sister and low contact with everyone else that enables that behavior. You don't need that drama in your life.
I think like I can understand where older people are coming from when they say like let them like just salvage a relationship because they're probably older. Maybe they made bad decisions and they lost touch with friends and family and they're like 60 or 70 and they're like, I wish I had that time back. I wish I realized that it didn't matter. You know, maybe you're upset and it's okay to be a little petty, but don't excommunicate her. Don't do things that are going to like ruin your relationship with her, you know?
Totally. You're better than her. Remember that.
Yeah.
Because I am better.
At what?
Everything.
We don't like to stoop, even though stooping can be fun. Stooping. Not the a-hole, it was your and your husband's day, not hers. She got what she deserved. What's making me ick is your sister's going to her birthday party instead of doing something on your birthday. This has me completely taken aback, especially because you say you're besties. Maybe for this one, we're gonna say you are not a bridezilla. You might have been a little petty, my dear. Clearly, this has been years and years of this mistreatment, so I get where you're coming from, I do. She was probably just pissed off that like photo album didn't contain a ton of photos of her.
You're not a bridezilla, okay? But that was petty and I like that.
Yes, we can move on.
Moving on.
Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she's a bridezilla because she doesn't let us poop in her wedding?
What? Like during the ceremony or at all?
I don't know. Let's find out. It's a short one. It sounded really funny, so I kind of wanted to dip a toe in, you know? I know the title is crazy. Let me resume this. I apologize in advance for my grammar. English is not my first language. You are forgiven. I, 30 female, have 5 sisters. The second one is Marlene, 42 female, that recently got engaged with her 3rd husband. The wedding was a Sunday afternoon in the countryside in a beautiful field of a farm. We had amazing weather and everything seemed perfect, except one thing.
No pooping! We must not shiza in the field.
You must not shiza. The location of the wedding was a 25-minute walk from the house with proper bathrooms and toilets. Absolutely not!
So, how do you know? And
oh my god.
Or nor.
You know what? This actually happened at a wedding recently where like the welcome party was on a beach and it was legit like a 15-20 minute walk and you needed a fob. Like you needed to be staying at the designated hotel in order to be able to go back to a bathroom.
That's just for the poopy, but for the guys, it was funny because you could just see a bunch of guys sort of popping out of trees, just like peeing. And they thought they were being so sneaky, but you could see them all.
You could see them all. And like, I'm not ashamed to admit that I also peed in the sand, like behind a bush. At first I went back to, you know, the hotel to pee, but then I realized, yo, this is literally like a 25-minute detour. Plus we had to wait for someone with a fob to like come back and let us into the beach area where the party was. Let me just say, the pooping is and the peeing, you must making sure when you have this event that people have a place to poop and to pee.
Those are very wise words.
The solution my sister had, portable toilets, one for the ladies and one for the men. I mean, better than nothing, honestly. The problem, Marlene forbid everyone to poop in this toilet because it can ruin the moment.
How about shusting during the ceremony if you can't use the frickin' toilet?
Shusting? Is that like a Hebrew word for
no.
poo?
Shusting? It's like the German word for emptying the butt chamber. I call it a Hershey squirt.
Ew. My grandmother is a 92-year-old lady with hip problems, so when she tells me she needs to poop, walking up to the house wasn't an option. So I told Marlene about it, that she could have an exception with grandma, but she denied it. She said that I, quote, let the old woman walk. I don't give a... no pun intended, I assume, if it takes her all afternoon. I saw red. I immediately took grandma to the toilet. She made the business and took her back to her seat. She thanked me. Marlene obviously went to the toilet to supervise. You're supervising the poo-poo?
Wait, she was watching her take a poo?
Wait, why are you poopervising?
You a poopervisor? Are you a pooperia?
Okay.
So I tell her she was a reptile monster. Here in my country, it's not common the name for bridezilla, for not letting grandma go to the toilet in peace. And I encouraged everyone to take a shit in the portable toilets. If the groom wasn't next to her, she would have strangled me. She began to cry and said that the wedding was ruined. My other sisters went to comfort her and I left the wedding. So am I the a-hole?
No, you're not the a-hole.
She is a bridezilla who literally tries to control people's bowel movements. Like, are you
Ironically,
insane?
she is an athlete. Like a huge a-hole.
Maybe I didn't respect some boundaries and ruin her day, but poor grandma. No, dude, like, I'm sorry, that is a very unreasonable boundary. What if you had diarrhea?
Yeah.
You know? I've had that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, ain't nothing stopping me from pooping.
There are a few things that are certain in this world. Death, taxes, and pooping and peeing. It's gonna happen. You're gonna poopy. You're gonna stoopy. Okay?
You're going to make me stoopy.
Yeah.
She's definitely, without a doubt, without question, a bridezilla.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right.
Your grandma was in her 90s. On what planet would your sister, who's in her freaking 40s and old enough to know better, be the one who is right? Then she goes all drama saying, you ruined her wedding. Totally not the a-hole. You were just being the good granddaughter. It's not even about the grandma for me. Like, that is obviously the icing on the cake that you wouldn't let, like, an old woman go to a bathroom, go to a porta potty and take a shit. But it's like all of it. It's like everybody and her having a problem with people taking a shit.
I'm starting to see why maybe this was her third marriage.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Ooh.
Sorry, that was really mean. I'm sure she's actually like a nice person. She just wanted to have
she's not. I don't get how you equate ruining a wedding with people going number 2. Like,
I went to this wonderful wedding. It was perfect. The only thing is the bathroom smelled like poo because someone went to the bathroom to poop. Sound logic. Logic. Okay, more comments. More!
Definitely not. She is the a-hole. You should not be holding in natural body functions, including farts, pooping, peeing, throwing up, etc. Your grandmother's already pretty old, no offense. Love your random grandmother, but that is not fair to her or anyone. She should have thought the venue out more carefully if she didn't want her guests to poop, especially if dancing after eating. On no planet can you tell people not to at your wedding.
I'm like a twofer. I do like, on average, at least one poop a wedding.
There you go.
There you go.
Is it even a party if you do not party poo?
You have to poop at parties.
Yeah, you must poop at the party. Otherwise, this is really a party. You don't poop at the party, and it's not a party.
We were just in New York and I concert and I had to go poopy. And afterwards, I felt like a new man. I felt like I was on spaceship floating. This was a fun one. More poop stories. I like poopy.
We like poop.
Stinky fun.
Is she a bridezilla? A couple of days ago, my friends got married. Mina and Chris, 31 and 33. Lovely from the pics I saw, couldn't make it. But the drama afterwards. Kimmy, 31, one of the bridesmaids, is dating Josh, 34, who was a groomsman. The issue wasn't at the wedding, but after. After the reception was over, Kimmy and Josh apparently went for a walk on the beach near the venue, and he proposed.
No! No, 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 no.
Ooh, I feel like that's so taboo.
Was anybody else there? Are we like posting about it also on the same night?
I feel like some people would be like, oh, I love it. Yeah, man, propose. I love is love. And some people would be like, it's my day. All right.
Yeah. I think it's probably best to maybe check with the bride and groom if
100%.
It's okay first, like not just to go ahead and do it. Maybe it was like something that he was, waiting for the right moment or something, and that just happened to be it. I don't know. Anyway,
it's a stinky thing to do.
Let's get some context, okay? Once again, this was after the wedding was over. They didn't sneak off and come back. Wedding was on a Saturday. It is now Monday, and Kimmy posted photos on social media of the ring and a picture they took from the night. Okay, so they waited a couple of days. They didn't steal the thunder. At first, everyone was all happy and congratulatory. Then someone points out that she is wearing the bridesmaid's dress from the wedding.
Oh. Well, it was a nice dress. Maybe it just fit her great. Like she was happy with how she looked in it. I mean,
whatever. The picture was kind of like a selfie with them and the ocean in the background, not a full outfit of the day type picture. So it wasn't very noticeable that it was the bridesmaid's dress. Well, bride gets mad. She starts calling and yelling at Kimmy about how she ruined her day. It was kind of after the fact though.
It was after.
And that she made it all about her. When Kimmy said that technically it was after midnight and the next day, it wasn't even her day anymore. Fuel to the fire. Mina was irate on another level, saying they should have waited until they were back from their honeymoon.
What?
Okay. No. Now people are split, saying it wasn't at the wedding or during, and they shouldn't have to wait until after they were back from the honeymoon, and that is a bit much to be saying that. Others are saying that having pictures in the bridesmaid's dress was a slap in the face to the bride.
I don't think it's a slap in the face. Come on.
It's whatever. I think a slap in the face would have been to propose during the wedding itself.
Did they tell anybody about it?
Chris and Josh haven't been voicing their opinions, but Josh did apologize to Chris for causing the drama, saying he thought the venue was lovely and near a place that meant so much to all of them. Essentially, Josh thought a meaningful place, romantic evening, he thought it was the right time. He'd been carrying the ring for months. I kind of understand both sides, but I'm leaning more toward Kimmy's. She waited until Monday, and if it wasn't for the neckline of the dress being in the photo, no one would have known it was from that night. So, was Josh the a-hole for proposing that night, or is Mina being a bridezilla for expecting them not to get engaged until she was back from her honeymoon? Honeymoon was 3 weeks in Japan, and they don't leave until next week, by the way.
Bye, Felicia.
I'm sorry, you get 1 day. Let's all make this very, very clear to everyone.
Maybe two, like the welcome party.
Maybe 2 with the bachelorette party, like 2 days max, all right? You do not get to dictate other people's pregnancies, other people's engagements, other people's plans, other people's outfits. You don't get to dictate any of that.
Yes, I agree. And also, even if it's the day after, I can understand why you might be a little bit upset that it's the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay? But to wait 3 weeks after your honeymoon, like, get the f*** out of here.
That's what's unreasonable. Yes, you can be a little bit annoyed, etc., etc.
I would be annoyed that he didn't actually mention it to like the bride and groom, right?
It seemed like it was just kind of like a random occurrence that he was just like, oh, this is so perfect, I'm just gonna do it right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, like maybe he didn't really plan to have it happen on that day, and like it was just the two of them. It wasn't like they made a scene. It wasn't like, you know, they took attention away from the bride and groom on their wedding day.
Like, did they tell anyone about it? I'm sure they maybe did the next morning.
They posted it 2 days later.
And that's actually kind of nice.
To me, it was clear that they did respect the fact that they kind of wanted to have a little bit of a buffer. They waited a couple days to tell everybody.
Maybe they told their family and stuff, but kept it a secret.
Your life does not stop because someone else is getting married. We have an update. Ooh. I invited Mina for tea to discuss the situation. I also told Kimmy to join us about 3 hours later. Ooh. We sat and had tea. I let Mina vent to me as to why she was angry. She felt that her wedding was used by the couple as a romantic backdrop for their proposal. I told her that she was delusional for expecting them to wait until she returned from their honeymoon to get engaged. Yeah, that's the part that's delusional.
Yeah.
I also asked her why she was mad at Kimmy rather than Josh for the proposal. Oh, that's a good point.
Very
it
good
had
point.
nothing to do with Kimmy. She's not the one that made the choice. That is telling, very telling.
It's probably about the dress more so.
Jealousy, like someone stealing her shine, you know, it not being about her. I think that people, when they come off of a wedding, are like on this high where it was like, wow, like everything is about me. Everyone
so
is
much
so
attention.
Nice to me. And then the wedding is over and it's like, oh, now it's not really going to be about me. It's going to be about other people, and they have a hard time coming to terms with that, which is something that I have learned.
It's ironic that we are in front of the camera. I hate attention. I hate talking about myself. I just like to talk about me farts.
Another thing was that she congratulated her until Tina pointed out that she was in the bridesmaid's dress. Tina is a pot stirrer. She's also Chris's younger sister. I did get some insight from the comments and told her the only thing tarnishing the glow from her wedding day was her nasty attitude. I think the nail in the coffin was, you are taking a wonderful romantic day that should be celebrated into a nightmare. You had your day. Your friend did everything to give you that day, then waited more than 24 hours to share her own wonderful news. You then took that and not only on her day, but also left a bad taste in everyone's mouth about your wedding. Do you want your day to be remembered as you being a bridezilla and a heartless friend? Ooh. She apologized to Kimmy when she got there. We made brownies and had more girl talk. Tina was in her ear saying that Josh was showing off the ring at the wedding and telling people he was going to propose. He wasn't. Tina, an attention-seeking child that wanted to put distance between Kimmy and Mina. Little note, Tina was maid of honor for Mina, while Alex, Mina's brother, was best man for Chris. Everyone thought it was going to be cute to include the siblings for a whole family bonding thing. I think this is obviously something that you guys have worked out between you, so I'm happy to know. The bride was allowed to be just like a little bit annoyed, okay? You're allowed to have your feelings. Everybody's entitled to feel however they want to feel.
It hurt my feelings. It made me cry.
You are not entitled, however, to ask people to not continue with their lives. You're not allowed to tell people not to get engaged.
Your wedding is done. The morning you wake up after your wedding, it's over.
It's over, bestie.
It's over.
It's sad. Oh, it's such a beautiful day. Everyone was looking at you and complimenting you, and everyone was there for you, celebrating you, and oh my goodness, it was so wonderful, wasn't it? But guess what? That comes to an end.
It's over. Bride in the story, I think that she's right to be annoyed, but having a tantrum about it, she's a little bridezilla. Just like a little bridezilla.
Just like a little one, you know? Just like
I'm glad that you guys sorted it out. That's
like
a good thing.
reptar-sized bridezilla.
No, you're char.
I vote bridezilla. Her day was done. Be happy for your friends. Don't give them grief. Literally, like you're kind of taking that away from them, this happy moment, by saying,
oh, you took away my shine.
You're also tarnishing your own memory of the day. You're gonna be like, oh God, you're gonna hold on to all this resentment about how like she proposed.
And believe me, everybody's gonna be more concerned with how much you're acting like a bridezilla than remembering your day as a happy day.
And maybe you won't go to the wedding. I don't know. It's not worth ruining friendships. We are on this planet for one time and make it a good time, not a bad time.
Correct. And to top it off, bridezilla demanding for them to wait until she got back from the honeymoon. And if they did, she would have said, you're ruining my honeymoon. You should have waited more. And if he waited more and she was pregnant, she would have had to say, oh, you wait until after and until, et cetera, et cetera. Her day was over. They didn't post anything until almost 2 days later. And they were super respectful. They did not make it public. They did not take away from your day, Miss Bridezilla. And that's how I feel about it.
I feel the same way.
Looking at this and other stories, it seems that this trend is going from this is my day to this is my year. You know what? That is a very good point. It is becoming like that. It's like, yes, this is the year you're getting married. So it's like, oh, you know, every conversation has to be about me and my wedding.
How many engagement parties am I gonna have?
Oh my goodness.
How many showers? Why are they called showers? Oh, showering with gifts.
Showering with gifts, yeah. We're not doing that, I don't think.
We should shower though.
We should take a shower, like you especially, but...
I am stinky.
Bridezilla ruins her own wedding, demands bridal party pay for her canceled wedding. So, my friend Dana, female 29, was supposed to be getting married this past Sunday. The wedding got canceled and things had gotten crazy. Dana was getting married to Josh, male 32. She's still in college with me and asked for a few friends from college, myself included, to be her bridal party. Now, from the start, this wedding has been a disaster. I'm just gonna point out a few of the crazy stuff we dealt with. 1, she refused to invite my best friend, who she's supposedly good friends with, because she thinks we're lesbian lovers. We're not. Okay, even if you were, what's your problem, Dana? You got an issue for a tissue?
I'm jealous.
I already hate her. She had us go to the dress fitting and then demanded each of us pay $2,000 for each of our dresses. $2,000. Yo, this shit is out of control. For the love of God, why do people assume that people will spend like $10,000 on their weddings and the clothing and the bachelor parties and the bachelorette parties and the wedding showers? And it's just like, my good golly gosh, people are out of control. Apparently she had a specific style she wanted, okay, and I can afford it, but I won't buy a $2,000 dress for one event. Some of the girls in the bridal party don't have that flexibility with money. It doesn't matter. It's obscene. That is obscene.
Yeah, totally crazy.
Apparently Josh couldn't invite any single females that were not blood relatives of him. So if he had any female friends, they were axed. Okay. Can we say insecure?
Insecurity? What am I insecure about?
One of the girls in the bridal party doesn't drink because of her religion. Dana accused her of being pregnant in front of her parents and almost got her kicked out of her house.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
She was not pregnant and she dropped from the bridal party. She was a class act though and never bad talked Dana, just said she couldn't make it. We found about it pretty much on the day of the wedding. Number 5, she tried to make us cancel our holidays with families and instead go with her to a destination bachelorette party. Oh God, this shit is out of control, man. People are off their rockers. Let's stop thinking about weddings and everything leading up to the wedding as like the most important thing that's ever happened to you in your life. I work full-time even during holidays, so I told her that was not happening. More of the bridesmaids said similar things and she dropped it. Honestly, after reading all of this and the bachelorette parties I've been on, the destinations, and just the drama, the drinking, the having to take multiple days off, the being hungover after for multiple days, it's just like, I want one day with my friends. Maybe we would have a sleepover. One day where we, I don't know, like live it up on a boat for a few hours. We might go out that night and that's it. My God, people are crazy. That's just 5 things of countless drama this wedding was having before the day. Now, the meat of the story comes on the wedding day. The day started horrible. Dana was having a meltdown because apparently the flower girl had to cancel because she has chicken pox. She was threatening to sue the mother unless she brought this sick 3-year-old to the wedding. And then you'll get everybody else sick? Absolutely not.
Don't you dare make this about you.
Listen, lots of people have not had chicken pox. When you have that as an adult, it is not good. You're putting everyone in danger because you want a flower girl? Just forget it. Have someone else throw the flowers. Jeez. Josh apparently was able to calm her down from this starter outburst and we began preparations. The whole day she had constant outbursts. She made people cry, like wedding staff and bridesmaids. The maid of honor deserves a medal for the amount of diplomacy and BS control she had to do. For the most part, took the easy route and decided to work outside the bridal suite, like checking flowers, making sure food was okay. Basically, any excuse not to be around the bride. Wow. Yeah, you guys aren't going to be friends after this.
Amen to that.
Eventually, I had my makeup and hair done, and then the bride asked for a little bit of time alone to decompress from the stress. We didn't even fight it. You could not see a group of women run away faster. Imagine that. Imagine you're being such a basket case that your friends don't want to be around you on your wedding day. Wedding was starting in 30 minutes, so we figured we should be fine alone for a little. I spent those 30 minutes just sitting in the chapel with my phone. It had to be about 5 minutes before the start of the wedding when maid of honor came to tell me that the wedding was canceled. I asked her what happened. Dana was having a quickie with Josh's uncle in the room. Josh caught them.
Gasp.
The uncle. I thought it could not get any worse, but I was sorely mistaken. I just stared at the maid of honor with my mouth pretty much about to reach the floor. She told me to run, that she was going to try to get as many people out before things exploded. So I quickly got my purse. She looks at you, she goes, run. I am me! Booked it out of there! Holy shit. So I quickly got my purse, gathered the 2 bridesmaids that were carpooling with me, and we left like the devil was after us. I checked with the other bridesmaids and all had escaped. Escaped. My God, I'm kind of sad that you guys weren't there to watch though. Like that night I called the maid of honor to check out what happened and the tea was bad. Apparently and rightfully Josh called off the wedding, called her a few names, told off his uncle, and has since left with his mates to, I hope, have the biggest single man party ever. I feel so bad for him. He's an absolute gem of a man. I mean, he certainly has to be to want to deal with that for the rest of his life. He apparently also told Dana and her parents that she will be paying for the cancellation fees. I mean, I think that's definitely fair. I also had a friend who was about to get married and she caught the groom cheating. Definitely T. He paid for everything. The photographer, I think she ended up just doing like a solo shoot with the photographer because it was already paid for and because the photographer felt bad.
In my book, that's a win.
According to maid of honor, Dana's father told her in front of everyone that she was paying for it on her own for being a slut.
You are correct, sir.
I don't normally like that word, but I think in this case it's justified. You f***ed your fiance's uncle on your wedding day 30 minutes before you're about to get married. I think that constitutes a slut. I thought that was the end of it. I made the choice to separate myself from this mess until I got a call from Dana not even an hour ago demanding $5,000 to help pay for her cancellation fees. Absolutely not.
This whole operation was your idea.
Go and suck an egg. It's my new favorite saying. According to Dana, it was our duty as the bridal party to pay her cancellation fees. No, it's not. Obviously told her no, and that she might as well lose my number. I am never speaking to this woman again. This has been pretty much the reaction of all the bridesmaids and the maid of honor. By the way, maid of honor, Josh's older sister. Oh, wow. Can you imagine asking her to pay for the wedding? You just cheated on drinking all the Delulu lemonade. Small update. Hey guys, I know a lot of people want to know what happened. After talking to Josh yesterday, he asked me to only say that he's okay, figuring things out and moving on. We're gonna stay friends with him and his sister. Good. Dana was told that no one in the group wants to interact with her. Since then, it's been almost mostly radio silence. I can't share more about Josh's future plans as he's asked me not to. He did have a good laugh at some of the comments I showed him and appreciates the support. The one detail that I did get corrected on, for those curious, was the uncle. He's the younger brother of Josh's mother, and he's 55 years old. I thought he was married into the family, but I got the detail wrong. I also found out the most disgusting detail. The uncle knew Dana since she was a teenager. Oh God. Oh God, no. Please say it isn't so. Dana and Josh are high school sweethearts, so yeah, I feel gross knowing that. Yes, I also wish I did not know that. I miss the person I was before I knew that.
I have a device. It can make us forget.
It's like a double whammy, you know? Like, not only did she cheat, but like Josh's uncle, like his family member. Dishonor! Dishonor on you!
Dishonor on your cow!
Okay, we have one final update.
Oh boy.
Josh is doing much better. He moved to a new place away from Dana and has some of his mates as roommates. He cut off contact with his uncle, as did most of his family. I mean, fair. Jesus. Putting it all on the line for a quick screw, eh? Hope it was worth it.
Have you ever been tested for STDs?
He's put a pause on dating for some time, considering Dana was his first and only girlfriend for years, so he needs some time to heal. Dana has now become persona non grata with my friends. She's even tried moving in with one of them without telling her by appearing at 10 p.m. at night saying, "You can't send me away this late at night." I beg to differ, Dana. I beg to differ.
You want to go home and rethink your life?
Didn't work. Don't know where she's living, but I can say for sure she's absolutely, without any doubt, very much screwed. She has 4 lawsuits. One from Josh for obvious reasons, one from his sister for the dresses she bought, one from the bridesmaid she accused of being pregnant, and one from Josh's uncle, since apparently Dana used his credit card. She apparently moved in with him after the failed wedding. Oh God. She's just like a Tasmanian devil. God forbid you end up in her path. So yeah, she threw her life away, and she's very much without support. I saw Dana's parents some day ago, and they haven't had any contact with her since the wedding. They're moving with their other daughter to another state, away from this hurricane of a person. As for Josh's sister, we've been hanging out for a while. She's become super tight with my friends, and we're even planning a trip sometime next year with her and her 7-year-old to Disney. And yes, we've all agreed to divide the babysitting. We offered, she didn't press us to do so. For the 3 people PMing, calling me misogynistic, how is she misogynistic? I don't get it. Oh, because she called her a I mean, if you can't be called a slut in that scenario, when can you be called? We're not calling women who choose to have relations sluts. We are calling women who cheat on their fiancés right before their wedding with the uncle. Don't get it twisted. Well, I'm glad you got away from this person. And honestly, I know that this isn't an am I the a-hole, but sorry, you're not the a-hole. You're literally not. If she's an a-hole, I'm an a-hole, and so be it.
Soon-to-be bride, all the way from Leeds, was getting married in Jersey, and she booked me in through, I think, word of mouth. Obviously, because she's from Leeds, she was only flying to the island for a week. I had to do the trial the day before the wedding. So it gets to the week of the wedding, and I'm messaging her, and she's not replying to me. It gets to the day of the trial and still no reply. Bearing in mind, she's already put down a 50% deposit. So I'm like, is this wedding still going ahead? The bum then randomly texts me saying, the wedding is still going ahead. Please be at the hotel tomorrow for, say, 8 a.m, I think it was. So I'm thinking like, okay, was it not going ahead? Like, what's happening? The bride's still not replying to me. But anywho, it gets to the day of the wedding and I get to the hotel for 8 a.m. I go to the reception and I ask for the room number and I go up to the room and I knock on the door. I can literally hear someone having sex. So like my first reaction is, am I at the right room? It's now 8:20. So if you're a makeup artist, you know how strict timetables are and schedules are for a wedding. Bearing in mind this is my first bridal party and I'm getting really stressed. I double checked with the hotel and I was definitely at the right room, so I knock again. At this point, a man leaves the room. I didn't think anything of it, you know, it's my first bridal party, I didn't know what to expect. Some soon-to-be husband and wife do spend the night before their wedding together, so I just thought, you know, they're a bit late leaving the room. Bride then peeps her head through the door and say, oh, are you Hannah, the makeup artist? And I'm like, yes, I am. She has last night's makeup on, hasn't washed her hair, and stinks of alcohol. By this point, I was like, oh, the pressure is getting worse as she is not going to be ready in time. She's also steaming drunk. She could barely string a sentence together. Then the bridesmaids finally show up themselves. I mean, they're in no better state than the bride, but you know, I'm like, finally, let's get the show on the road. Let's start doing some makeup. The champagne, opening the Prosecco, the rosé. No food was in sight. It was almost like they were pissed already and they wanted to stay pissed for the day. So I'm like, whatever, let's get the first bridesmaids and let's get started. The bridesmaids are all pretty much ready. The hairdresser's in and starting doing the hair. I'm doing the makeup. Everything's going smoothly. Very behind schedule, but you know, things are going along quite well. I get to do the bride's makeup. Now, bless her, I can get the worst hangovers too, so I really do resonate with her, but she was in no state to walk down an aisle in a couple of hours. I was like, this can't be happening for this poor girl. By this point, the bridesmaids are getting a little bit more pissed, you know, a little bit more louder. The music's getting turned up. I can't even hear myself think. And one of the bridesmaids shouted out, I think she might have been the sister. So who was here last night then? You can imagine my face. What do you mean, who was here last night?
Who was here?
Was that your husband?
What do you mean?
So by this point, my ears, they're fully out and I'm ready to hear all gossip. But then at the same time, I just started doing the bride's eye makeup and I was like, please, this is not the time for the girl to start tearing up here. I've just done my smoky wing. Obviously, she starts crying. So me being me, I just said, just go to the toilet and have a breather. Like, it's fine. We'll continue in a minute. By this point, it's been a good 15 minutes, but she comes out of the bathroom, everything's fine, and I continue with my makeup. We're already like a good hour behind the schedule. Is what it is. The bride's mum then walks into the room. Now, I have no idea if one of the bridesmaids was a sister or a family relative, but whatever happened in that bathroom, someone had updated the bride's mum. The mum then walks into the hotel room, storms up to the bride, who I'm doing her makeup currently, points her finger at her, like, you dirty little I was like, can I not just do this girl's makeup in peace? Anyway, cut a long story short, she basically had an affair and cheated on her husband the night before the wedding. I don't know why I'm laughing. And the man that left that hotel room in the morning that I politely said hello to was just a randomer. It wasn't the groom. If you're wondering, yes, I did continue doing her makeup. And yes, she did go and get married that day. After the wedding, she was meant to pay the remaining 50%. Did she pay it? No. Did I hear from her again? No. Is she still married? I don't know. So moral of the story is, take the full percentage of your rates the day before the wedding at least. And don't get married for the sake of getting married.
I love how they just freely talked about it in front of you. Ooh. I love how they were all just kind of like standing around, like drinking, getting lit, and like kikiing about the fact that she cheated on her fiance the night before her wedding. Like so nonchalant about it. Okay, so who was here last night? As if it was like not a big deal?
But it's not a big deal. Ain't no thing. Ain't no thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think it's probably best if you're doing this the night before your wedding, or you're even thinking about doing this, you're not ready to get married. And I don't know if you'll ever be. Honestly, props to you for maintaining your composure throughout all of this. Like the fact that you showed up and you just did the job. I guess she did still get married that day despite everything, but like, holy crap. You're not getting paid enough for what you do, I'm telling you. Frozen. Bridezilla. I was doing a first time wedding photo/video shoot with a new business in January in Canada. It was -50 on this day. You were in Alberta, weren't you? In the Bridezilla's emails, it was discussed that photos and videos would be done inside as it was dangerously cold out. Well, Bridezilla didn't like that. She was insistent on doing outdoor photos, so okay. This is the issue with having a wedding in the wintertime. Sorry, buddy, you gotta do it inside. The thing is like everybody else can bundle up, right? Like the photographer can like bundle up, they can have like hand warmers in their gloves, they can make sure that they're warm. The only person that's gonna be shit out of luck are the bride and groom. We took photos and videos and more photos, and when we started shivering, we took more photos. I was showcasing just how picky I can be for shots and making sure we got multiples from slightly different angles. Nice. So you're just kind of making her suffer through it, eh? Nice. She also chose not to wear any form of coat or shawl, but demanded we get outdoor photos and video. When she started shivering, we just said, you have to stop. We can see it on video. Then we took more photos and more outdoor shots until her skin was so bright red, she was looking like the Canadian flag herself. She was a raging and tried to email the boss saying how we all talked about how hungover we were. We weren't. But she only said that about the 2 Indig photographers, me and the third. What was Indig? My boss created a beautiful video and conveniently made it all about the husband, with maybe 2 shots of the bride. It was glorious and I have 0 regrets. A photographer's revenge, eh? Love to see it. Well, she wanted outdoor photos. She just wasn't prepared to suffer through it. See? Now all you have to come away with from that entire experience is a shitty video that you weren't even in because you insisted upon having photos and videos outside in -50. Stupid is as stupid does.
I got a call from the bride-to-be and she says, unfortunately, the groom passed away.
Oh.
So, you know, we're like crying together on the phone, really, really sad. And she asks for her deposit back. And, you know, as any wedding professional, like, you have your contracts.
Did she lie?
All deposits non-refundable. They're in most contracts, as are in mine. But obviously, you know, when the groom dies, it's kind of hard to have a wedding without him. And also, I'm not, you know, a monster. So it's like, yes, come get the deposit. So she comes in, she gets it, like, we hug, we're on our way. Fast forward like 3 or so weeks. I got a phone call from the groom.
Holy
I knew it. So he's talking to me about this next deposit, and he's saying like he was short on the money, but he's like, he has it now and whatever. So I'm like, I won't say his name. I'm like, let's call him Larry. I'm like, Larry, I am so surprised to be hearing from you. He's like, a little thrown off guard. He's like, what? I'm like, are you calling from the beyond? I was under the impression that you were dead.
Oh my God, absolutely not. Dude, she totally lied about him dying and wanted to get the deposit back. God, how is it that I called it? Why would she do that? Does she want the money for herself? Like, I thought that maybe like the wedding was canceled and she wanted the money back. But no, the wedding is still happening. So why are you trying to cancel this photographer? And you feel the need to lie about it?
So that turned into a would-be lawsuit. She returned
no
the
kidding.
deposit. And the craziest part about it is, like, if she just came to me and said, I'm calling off the wedding, like, the wedding was a year away. So, like, not much had been done yet. They had, like, just kind of booked me. Like, it's not the same for every situation. And a contract is a contract. So, like, you know, I would have the right to keep the deposit. But in that scenario, if she was like, we're in a pinch and I'm not doing it, I'm leaving this MFR, I'd be like, all right, like, we haven't done much yet. Here's your deposit back. But yeah, she went the death route. And
how
crazy.
What the
what is wrong with you?
Okay, so wait.
If you guys were watching that on YouTube or Spotify, you saw our jaws hit the floor.
Questions.
What
So did I.
Yeah. Holy
Okay, so she told you he died. Yes. Right? Yes. And homeboy is oblivious to the fact that he's even been broken up with.
So she broke up with him. There was some kind of, I didn't even get into the details, but from what I surmised, there was some sort of incident that happened between them that seemed that he was at fault.
Okay.
I think there was also a money factor in that. So he had like promised her a certain amount and then he couldn't come forward with it. Something else happened, straw that broke the camel's back. She was just like, I'm done, I gotta get out of this. And he, like, I guess I don't know if she didn't tell him or he was just like calling her bluff, like, I don't know. Some people
Hey, Adriana, I'm just here to pay the second deposit.
Yeah, next deposit. I'm like,
Larry.
Well, I thought you were dead, so.
Oh, Larry.
Oh, Larry. Yeah, these two.
Wow.
So that was pretty funny. And I would never, like, I did look, I'm not gonna lie to you, when she first called me, I was like partly ashamed, but I did look up his obit. and I couldn't find it, but I was like, you know what? Everyone's circumstances are different. Like, I can't ask her for a death certificate. She just lost her fiance. Like,
Oh my
that's
God.
crazy to do. You don't ask someone for that when they've lost someone. But goddamn, I don't know. What
Wow, that's like a low thing to do.
Well,
Like-
my mom said to me, she was like, you have to think if someone is in the position where they are like so desperate that they're gonna fake someone's death, like she must have really like been in a pinch.
Yeah.
And I get that, but
morally, bad news.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That ain't it.
That's one of my wild ones.
Don't lie about people dying.
Honestly.
You shouldn't. As a rule of thumb, you know, it's not best to lie about a death.
I'm so blown away by this right now. Did not expect that at all. That might be yeah. You want to talk crazy wedding day horror stories? That takes the cake.
That's
the
very
cake.
much intended. I just don't understand why the groom didn't know that his own wedding wasn't happening anymore. Like, was he doing it out of courtesy, coming to pay the second? It kind of sounds like he had no idea that she had broken up with him or that she was trying to get her money back, his money back. Who knows whose money it is? Kind of sounds like it was his, honestly. Realistically, okay, yes, she could have been, you know, trying to get out of a desperate situation. She thought maybe her reasoning for wanting out of the marriage wasn't as good as just saying that the groom died. Because nobody would question you, right? My 25 male, fiance, 24 females, best friend sent me proof of her cheating at her bachelorette party. You know it's bad when the bride's best friend is exposing her. First of all, sorry for a mistake. I'm writing in a state between exhaustion and being completely drunk. As you should. As you should, bestie. So yeah, pretty common story. Met her 5 years ago at uni, fell deeply in love, and thought she was the love of my life.
Story of my life.
5 years of relationship, she decided to fucking crush. I want to break my skull right now. Decided to crush. Oh my God. Okay. We were not a perfect couple, but damn, we were close. Her family liked me, and while I don't really have one, I felt so welcomed in theirs. We had projects. The first one was me buying this big, now garbage of a house near the sea, building a family on our own, on my own. I proposed to her earlier this year, and I couldn't think of a better night than this one. Why the frick she had to throw everything away like that? Yesterday morning, I woke up with a big headache from my little party with the boys, and what a surprise when I saw that my fiance's best friend sent me not one, but 5 videos. How did she not know that there were 5 videos being taken of her while she was cheating, you know? I'm just gonna keep it for myself.
Make it a happy memory.
How naive I was thinking. Oh, cool, they had fun. Must be some fun or embarrassing moments, lol. To summarize the 5 videos, her kissing at least 3 other guys. Oh, 3. At least 3. Oh God, it just gets worse by the second.
I mean, I have a reputation to uphold.
Making out really passionately with one. I mean, really passionately. Licking champagne on his body, and finally her being lifted up into a room and a lot of noises from behind the door. Okay, that's how you get a video of her without her knowing. She was probably so into it, she didn't even realize there were videos being taken. I just would like to say that we don't claim her. Like, you say that this is like a common story. Maybe you just meant the uni part. This is not common.
Right, a nickel.
My friends are still with me, as dumbfounded as I am. I guess she slept most of yesterday because I had the first text last night and a crap ton of them, plus calls this morning. I only asked her yesterday to tell me the truth, and she played like nothing happened. Oh yeah. Doesn't look good for you, buddy. Doesn't look good. I mean, depends on how you look at it though, because would you really want to be in a relationship who would do this and lie about it? Do this from like at all, but then lie about it. I have a theory where people that like openly cheat like this, especially to this degree, just don't want to be in a relationship with that person or at all. And they're looking for a way to like sabotage it. I can't, I swear to God, it's crushing my mind.
You could do so, you
She's just begging on text for me to pick up, saying it's not what I think. How cliche, right? Even her best friend is trying and told me we need to talk. You gotta talk to that best friend.
Wrong number.
I'm glad that she's not sticking with the girl code. That's not even girl code though. Like that's when I'm referring to girl code, I think of like bro code, you know, like it's like they're all in on it and they'll let each other cheat and they won't ever tell the girlfriends, etc. I don't think girl code is the same thing as bro code, but even the best friend is like, dude, you gotta get out. I picked up just once. I told her I know about the guy and bam, blank silence. Then sobbing and crying, telling me to meet to talk and explain because it's not what it looks like. Before I hung up and turned off my phone, I'm sorry, what does it look like then? Because there are videos that definitely look like it.
I was practicing.
There's video evidence. It's not what it looks like. It kind of is. TBH. What were you doing in that room with all those noises going on?
Jumping up and down on the bed.
Even asking me who was the B word that sent me the vids. I love it when they're more angry about being found out. Who said that? Who told you that? Who didn't keep my secret?
Who eat my banana pudding cup?
That's how you know you caught a cheater, because if they're more upset about who told you the truth, tells you something. Guys, I really thought I could have my own family. Oh, you can, babe. You can, just not with that one. It was hard growing in foster. I guess I only have my bros and my job left.
First before, right?
Listen, I know it's gonna be hard to think of women in a favorable light, but not all of us are like this, okay? Look at the best friend. The fact that her best friend wanted to tell you what was going on, like she put her friendship on the line to tell you the truth about what was happening. And not only that, give you proof of what was happening. That is a testament to the fact that not all women are like your fiance here. Some of us have morals, okay? I guess I need some outside advice. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like, but hard to believe that BS. I mean, you could hear her out, but the fact that she like lied to begin with is not a good sign. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't marry this person. Like, you just can't. You can still have the family. You can still have your dream life, just not with her. Edit. Also, for all the people telling me to get with her best friend, it's not my priority right now. Fiance contacted me again and offered me to monitor all her accounts, not drinking or going out without me, etc. I mean, it's a little late for that. That's an odd solution. I just feel like maybe this isn't the first time, you know? I really feel like this was the first time that maybe the best friend had proof, but maybe it wasn't the first time, because it's like, oh, this happens when I'm drunk. Oh, it happens when I go out without you. Why is that a solution? OP says, I'm not a freaking jail guard. It will be my last update on this. I won't post anymore and mostly will delete the account later. It's so bizarre when cheaters do this. I fricked someone else. Now to keep the life I want, you have to do more work keeping an eye on me. It's kind of like people that f up and they're like, let's go to therapy. Come to therapy with me. No, I will not go to therapy with you. Why do I have to dedicate time to you? Because you f***ed up. If anything, you go to therapy and you work on your shit. I'm just fine. In fact, it's the therapy that makes me feel like I don't need therapy. I'm healed, baby girl. I am a whole person. Okay, we have an update. I know those fateful words. We have an update. 4 words. They're the best words in the English language. Well, maybe not separately, but together. The wake up was hard, but I want to first thank all the kind messages and advice I got. For the people who insulted my fiance, please don't do that, even though I understand how you feel. For now, I just need to get back home, so I texted her that she had until this afternoon to pick some stuff up and leave to her parents' place, and of course, not the car I bought for her. Period. She called me and begged for a chance to explain. I mean, I'm not past watching people grovel, you know? So there was crying, a guilt trip that I'm not believing her over someone I don't really know. I mean, it's not like a he said, she said kind of situation. It was like video proof. Telling me nothing happened in the room, the kissing was all she did.
Do you think I'm stupid?
Convenient that the only thing there isn't a video of is something that she's refuting happened.
Plausible deniability.
At this point, I was at my break point, but I held tears and I asked her to tell me all of the truth or I'd disappear from her life. So more crying until she confessed that all she did was
eat a banana real slow.
On her and on him. We gotta blur that out. That's my, cause there's kids watching.
Christian channel.
Detailed, but nothing more happened because she stopped. She swore that's all she did, but how can I be sure? It just gets worse and worse. It's like she's just lying until you press her and then more and more comes out. Like she's just lying over and over and over again. I never saw her that panicked over something. She'd even propose something like a free pass for me to cheat on her on anyone I'd like. WTF. That doesn't make it better, sweetheart. Like, if anything, y'all should have discussed that before. And if he said no, then you also can't do that. But honestly, even if someone suggested that to me, I would be so upset. I would be like, no. And I would rethink that whole relationship. Because the fact that you're even thinking about it. Listen, I have been in situations where fiancés have given a hall pass, and I've said this before, and I will say it again. I would not want my fiancé to use his hall pass, okay? I would not even want that discussion to happen. That's awkward as shit. I can't even describe how sick and disgusted I felt while hearing all of this. I hung up because, well, was there more to say? Through all the messages and calls from her friends and family, it was mostly messages telling me to pick up and talk with fiance. Like a lot advised that I told a friend of mine to download the vids on his stuff, phone and computer, because I can't stand to have this on mine. Yeah, no kidding. You'd probably be like playing that over and over and over again. Oof. I also picked up when her best friend called me and basically she explained that another girl invited her brother, who is a ripper, and his friends. A ripper, eh? That guy was a ripper, or one of them? Rippers are so weird, like male ripper, oh God. I'm sorry, you gotta be some kind of ratchet to want to hook up with a ripper. That's why I already saw his face somewhere. She then took a solid 20 minutes telling me she betrayed fiance because of how much she didn't deserve me. Ooh. I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm definitely not opposed. Like, she definitely showed her loyalty to you. I feel like I would leave that door open romantically if I were you. I know you're probably hurt right now, but like, how I was too good, handsome, attractive, and wealthy for her. Ooh, she like you. I asked her if fiance ever did something like that before. She told me no. I asked her if fun stuff could have been used, and she told me too, no, because she was still going after the cheating. She then offered to come to my place in order to support me, but I kindly declined. Yeah, she like you. She like you. I need to be alone right now. Wedding has been canceled, but I didn't tell the reason to the parents yet. Why? Call them up. Tell them better yet, send them the videos. I took a break from work, and my days right now mostly consist of going to bars and getting so drunk I pass out.
And then another and another.
Not the healthiest way to deal with it, but hey, who am I to judge? I'd probably do the same thing. At least we had a good laughs with the boys, even if I can hardly remember the last parts. Thanks again. Never thought this would blow up that fast. I'm kind of a very introverted person. I meet my current friends. I only have 4, but can't thank them enough. Through my fiance. Ooh, sounds like she lost her fiance and her friend group all at once. Honestly though, if you found out that your friend was cheating, like I would not want to be friends with that person either. Kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth, doesn't it?
Did you slip on a banana peel too?
She was the popular type in uni, while all I did was study and play basketball. She was my first relationship, my first time, my first everything. Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard.
That's what she said.
But hey, like I'm not gonna say there's plenty of fish in the sea. But I mean, if that's your only experience, like dude, there's plenty of people out there. There's endless possibilities. You'll be fine. Throwing up 5 years just like that. She keeps texting me to meet and talk about this like adults. Sending me what she ate like nothing happened. Sending you what she ate?
Banana!
She's sending you like food pics? And she keeps trying to talk about our dreams together. Ooh, that's manipulative. That's so messed up, but fortunately there's a nice old and expensive bottle of whiskey waiting for me. I mean, listen, I don't want to join the chorus of people that are telling you to hook up with this best friend, but like I'm gonna join the chorus of people that are telling you to hook up with this best friend, but not while you're like rebounding, okay? Rebound with somebody else, not the best friend. Best friend's a good one.
She's a keeper.
Okay, this is a very, very good point. How does someone invite their sibling to strip for her and her friends? Oh my God, that's such a good point. That is so foul. Oh God, I'm gonna blow out my microphone. Ew. I don't know why this stuck out to me, but if I had just found out that someone I loved and had committed myself to had cheated, the absolute last thing I would want would be.
You would.
What? I don't know why this is what stuck out to me, but if I had just found out that someone I loved and had committed myself to had cheated, the absolute last thing I would want would be given a free pass to go and passionately hug someone else to make it even. That would somehow make the betrayal feel even worse, as if the only issue was some transactional sense of fairness, as if the only issue was passionately hug itself. Oh, I betrayed you so you can go betray me, but it's not even betrayal because I'm allowing you to do it. Make it make sense. The logic, the math ain't mathing. My piece of advice, best friend sounds nice. Have your fun.
Give me the banana.
Get it out of your system and then see if something's there. Cheating bridezilla who lost everything. Not entirely sure if this classifies as a bridezilla. When I think of a bridezilla, I also think of someone who is like really entitled and expects a lot of people and has temper tantrums, that kind of thing. But I think that cheating definitely falls into that category. I was supposed to be in a wedding and ultimately dropped out. This was over a year and a half in the making. This bride comes from a super religious family and the mom helped the groom, who's in the military, design and purchase the engagement ring. He proposed without talking to her first. Less than a year together, I think, and in front of a group of people. She wanted to say no, but felt pressured to say yes. Later, she asks us to be her bridesmaids, claiming that they're good now, our first red flag. The cost started adding up for the bridesmaids. To be fair, it was the maid of honor who totaled the estimate of $900 per bridesmaid for a dress, professional hair and makeup, the bachelorette party, she was planning stuff the bride wouldn't even like, and a hotel the night of the wedding, even though it was 45 minutes from our houses. Okay. After we couldn't reason with the maid of honor, most bridesmaids were college students and the maid of honor said, just save $20 a week from now until the wedding. We decided to talk to the bride at an upcoming party. If you have like a safe ride home, that's my only concern with like after a wedding, you go home. There will be drinking at weddings, obviously take an Uber. And that's why I think a lot of people end up staying overnight because everybody drinking, everybody getting a little litty, you know what I'm saying? Litty titty. But realistically, 45 minutes away, can't decide if an Uber would be cheaper. Maybe if you shared it. This is where it gets fun. We suspected the bride was cheating on her fiance. At the party, she ended up cheating with her ex and we all saw it. Many people tried to talk to her about it, but she didn't think her fiance needed to know. She even later made up a story that her fiance was cheating on her. This was false as far as we know. Yeah, she was just trying to make it seem less bad. Oh, well, he cheated on me, so I cheated on him.
That's not how this works.
This went on for a bit before we were one by one backing out of the party and later RSVP'd no to the wedding. Ooh, well, she definitely knows where you stand. Turns out a few nights before the wedding, the bride got wasted and was complaining to her fiance's sister that he said she doesn't give as good compared to his ex. Fiance hears this and drunkenly says something like, at least I don't cheat on my partner. And his family is like, hold up, what? But she did cheat.
The plot thickens.
During the rehearsal dinner the next day, his family confronts hers. Both parents take the bride and groom into a room for like an hour and a half. Her parents find out everything, including that she isn't a virgin. Again, super religious family, not cool. They decide to still hold the wedding. Next morning, bride-to-be received a text from the groom saying he can't do it. Bride and her family all go to the hotel he's staying at and the bride's dad flips. Turns out he dropped $150,000 for this wedding. WTF. Pay our student loans, please. And the groom's family then leave to travel back to their home state. Bride goes home. Bride's parents go down the aisle to renew their vows in a half-empty uniform church full of guests. They still go to the reception since it was already paid for, though many guests just leave.
More for me.
I mean, at least they're getting something out of it. $150,000. Edit here. Again, the guy was in the military in a submarine. Even she had zero contact with him. For those who met him, it was only once. We did all we could, and he did know. She was a really good friend to all of us, but not anymore. It's sad that we wanted to help her, but we had enough of her compulsive lying and manipulative nature. I hope that she changes her ways and finds someone nice in the future, but we all know our friendship with her is completely over. I mean, it really doesn't surprise me that you guys feel some type of way about this woman. I mean, realistically, all I do is talk about people who cheat. I feel some type of way about it. So if I ever find out that someone is a cheater, like a known cheater, and they cheat on their partner all the time,
I'm not gonna like that person.
Sometimes I wake up a little sad and then I read things like this and realize my life is just fine. And I need to go and walk it off. Seriously, everything's okay. It's okay. It's nice to compare, isn't it? Well, at least my life isn't like that. Here's a good point. Why was she discussing his preferences with his sister in front of everyone. Sounds like he's probably a d too. That is a very, very good point. The fact that he said that to her at all, if it's true, sounds like it was doomed from the start. In fact, I know it was doomed from the start because you said that she wanted to say no and she couldn't because she was in public, which honestly is fair. This is why we don't do public proposals, guys. You gotta be certain that that's what this person wants, okay? All right, we got one more. It's a little am I the a-hole? So we're gonna have to blur out some of this, but I think it's an important discussion to have because I feel like there's definitely like a double standard when it comes to the rippers and bachelor and bachelorette parties. Am I the a-hole for leaving my fiance after I learned there were rippers at her bachelorette party? For those that don't know what I'm referring to when I say ripper, maybe that's just a really Canadian way of saying it. A saucy dancer, a saucy little dancer. I, 29 male, and my ex-fiance, 29 female, were together for 5 years. We should have been married now in the normal conditions, but I broke up with her and canceled the wedding 2 days before it because they invited male spicy dancers to her bachelorette party. I'm personally not a fan of these parties, but reluctantly agreed after both groom and bride side confirmed we would keep it simple. I told my ex-fiance I'm not comfortable with saucy dancers or other kinds of crazy things. She agreed. All right, you express the boundary, you're not okay with it. Some people are and some people are not. I also told my friends that if they were to do a stupid thing without me knowing, we would have problems.
What kind of problem?
We stayed at my friend's summer house and chilled there by the pool. Did some WoW raids and played board games. Oh, that sounds like exactly what I would want my fiance to do for his bachelor party. Yeah, we're just gonna have a bro fest up at the Cotty.
To a night we'll never remember.
My ex-fiance and her friends went to a restaurant, then rented an Airbnb. There was no problem during the night, and the next day I asked how things went. She and her close friend said it was really chill and good. We returned to the city center after that. I encountered another bridesmaid that day when I was shopping for a bracelet for my ex-fiance for her upcoming birthday. I asked that girl, how is everything, as we were in the same department at college, but rarely talk now. She's closer with my fiance than me. She said, it's going good. Last night was crazy with all the strippers. Spilled the beans, did we? Let that one slip, didn't ya? After saying that she looked uncomfortable, I asked her about the details, but she was not willing to tell much. I think she realized she should not have talked about it. I laughed, said goodbye, and left. I confronted my fiance, and she seemed surprised about it. She was denying it first, then told me nothing crazy happened, and one of her bridesmaids invited rippers. I will say that sometimes bridesmaids do that without the bride knowing. I've been involved in a couple different bachelorette parties, and we've brought it up in like the group chats where the bride was not involved. It's not the kind of ripper that you would think is like attractive. It's more of like a funny ripper. We talked about it and then we kind of just decided that her fiance would have been really uncomfortable with it and she would have been uncomfortable with it. So it just wasn't a good idea and we decided against it. If you want to hear my first and only experience at the Saucy Dance Club for women, stick around to the end of the video. I reminded her that it was a strict boundary for me. I asked about the details, but she said there was nothing much with the dancers, just solo dances and that's it. Just solo dances. That's kind of like the worst thing that can happen. I told her I needed some time to think. Almost all of the bridesmaids messaged me, ensuring nothing happened when I was on my way back home. Definitely not coordinated. Okay, listen, as bridesmaids, as friends of the bride, if the bride has said something to the effect of the groom is not comfortable with dancers, same goes for the dudes having their bachelor parties. It is up to us to like respect their wishes, okay? We can't be inviting people just because, oh, it'll be so funny, blah, blah, blah. No, at the end of the day, if the spouse is gonna be uncomfortable, like we can key in the group chat about it, but like, we're not gonna do it, okay? Things happen after that, but in the end, I decided to break up and cancel the wedding. I lost some money since it was only 2 days before the wedding. Things are not cool right now. My head is messed up, I get criticism from everyone and had no idea about what to do. My sister told me to see a therapist to process my thoughts and feelings. That's what I'll do. Some mutuals suggested I reconsider things and stop being so whiny about such a small thing. I don't think it's such a small thing, especially when they all tried to hide it from me. And that's the tea. It would be one thing if you heard about this from your fiance and she said, honestly, they did it without me knowing, nothing happened. It was just like one big, silly joke, whatever. If she came to you first and said that she wasn't the person that invited them, even then though, in that situation, I would probably leave the room and let them whatever. The fact that she hid it is not a good sign. It's not only a violation of your boundaries, but it's also a violation of your trust because number one, there were dancers, and number two, she hid it from you.
You liar!
Not the a-hole, it comes down to the lies. Also, her friends also lied. One said the truth but knew they messed up and weren't forthcoming with information. Just makes you wonder, what if anything in the future they would lie about to cover up? You told her it was a boundary and they stomped on it. She violated your trust. You both agreed, no dancers. She had dancers. It doesn't matter who made the arrangement. She could have told them to leave, literally. I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to probably still pay for them, but like, leave, you know? The moment she saw that happening, she should have been like, honestly, my fiance is not okay with this. I'm gonna have to ask you to go. It's as simple as that. Then when you knew, she lied, and then she doubled down and initially denied it. She stretched the violation of your trust further. Not a good way to start a marriage. I mean, if your wedding was in 2 days after this, like, there's like literally no way. There's literally no way. I will be honest, there is a bit of a double standard here because it goes both ways, all right? I personally find all of that gross, but there's something about like the male dancers that's just silly. Like I just find it so like, that's just me though. I think both situations, like a bachelor and bachelorette party where they go and they see dancers, I think it's weird. I think it's something that was, you know, maybe normal like 10, 20 years ago, and now it's, at least in my experience, it's far more common for a bachelor party to get like dancers, in my experience. You are not the a-hole, my dear. I wouldn't want to marry her either. To this day, I think I've only ever been to one bachelorette party where we were at a saucy club. It was hella weird. It's one of my best stories though. Oh man, I was like a broke student in New York and we went to this saucy club in Times Square, and my friend had come in from out of town and she knew that I lived there, so I tagged along. And the first thing that happens when we enter this club is they give us this massive tequila shot with a strawberry in it. So things are already off to a pretty crazy start. At that time I was single, so it's like whatever, but I remember just feeling like, I'm sorry, I don't have money. Leave me alone. And then the minute that I mentioned that I had no money, they got off me. Like they're all just like flirting and like putting the moves on me, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, sorry, I'm broke. I literally can't afford to eat. Sorry, I don't have any money. And they got off so fast. This was pretty much an empty club, right? They bring my friend, the bachelorette, and another girl whose birthday it is up on stage for like a dance. And everybody's watching, right? Well, by everybody, I mean like all 15 people that were in the club. And so they're up there, they're getting a dance, and the girl whose birthday it is was so drunk, she projectile vomited all over the dancer in front of everyone.
Joke's on you, I'm into that shit.